Welcome back to Invisalign Arena here at Wake Competition Center as the unbeaten NC State Ice Pack host an unbeaten South Carolina Gamecocks. Chris Lehman here with Nick Perazzi as we get set for what should be a great Friday night matchup. But first, we're going to take a look back because it's been a while since we've seen this NC State team here at home. It was a commanding win over High Point, but the Ice Pack, as we mentioned, still unbeaten. They've won 3 in a row on the road coming into this one, and it started up in Virginia against the Hokies.
Yeah, and the Ice Pack, that first game against High Point 21 days ago here in Invisalign Arena. It's been a while, like you said, Chris. Just a 3-2 victory. We talked to head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack last night, said goaltending was a huge part of why Virginia Tech was able to stay in that game for most of it. Ice Pack pulled away with a 3-2 victory, however. And then last weekend up in New Jersey, a trip against Rowan, the Rowan Profs, 2 big wins for the Ice Pack, a 6-3 and a 7-2 victory. NC State 4-0, rolling on all cylinders early on, but there could be some hiccups in the road after that road trip.
Yeah, absolutely. And speaking of some hiccups, everybody runs into injuries throughout the course of the season. Unfortunately for NC State, it is a season-ending injury to the shoulder of Nick Labrizzi, suffered in that Virginia Tech game, so they will be without him for the remainder of the season. Also, Addison Lawrence, starting goaltender, a little bit banged up. He's kind of week to week right now. Should be back fairly shortly, but he is going to be out for at least the next couple of games, it sounds like. So few key pieces there for NC State that they won't have here tonight.
Yeah, and Labrizzi especially, I think, is a really big piece that on paper you might say, oh, well, they got next man up. But Labrizzi's a big locker room presence, Chris. He is always very vocal in that locker room, one of the leaders of this team. An offensive defensive man, he's on that first line, so losing him's a big loss. Losing Addison Lawrence on paper looks like a big loss, and it is a big loss. You know, you lose goaltender number 1. He played phenomenal against High Point, was goaltender number 1 all of last season, so losing him is going to be a big loss. However, NC State's got Isaac Toyer in net. He's been solid last year. He's going to get an opportunity tonight to show that he can be goaltender 1A and 1B with Addison Lawrence.
Well, it should be an interesting matchup here at Invisalign Arena tonight. We're going to take a quick break, and then we'll look at that matchup when we return.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo.
Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Closing in on puck drop here at Invisalign Arena, Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi back with you here before the NC State Ice Pack host the South Carolina Gamecocks. And we're going to take a look at that Gamecocks team here now as we get set for this matchup. Should be a good test for NC State tonight. This is a team that has been very successful in the past. They're looking to kind of make that jump over into the ACHA, as they've done so this year as a dual-registered team in both the AAU and the ACHA. It's also a team that could potentially make that move to the ACCHL, into that Division I league at some point. It's a school that's certainly on the radar. So it's a team that kind of wants to prove something tonight against NC State.
Yeah, South Carolina's going to come in here, and they're going to have to hit NC State in the mouth tonight, Chris. They're going to have to play physical. They're going to have to play their style of hockey. They like to play fast. They like to play physical. That's something NC State might have a little bit of struggle with. This season, South Carolina's outscoring teams by over 20 goals in the first 5 or 6 games, which is just remarkable. Back-to-back giant wins at Alabama, 2 wins against UNC a couple weeks ago, and a 1-goal victory against Georgia. This South Carolina team is looking pretty dangerous tonight, and they're led by 3 big players, Chris. They're led by Scove, they're led by Higgins, and they're led by Tommy Martin. Two very big forwards, and then a defenseman leading the team in assists is just something that you rarely ever see.
Yeah, they're going to be a good test for NC State here tonight, but of course the Ice Pack, deep roster, they've got plenty of guys to step up, and you look down that roster, there's not a bad line out there for NC State. So I think even with the losses that they suffered over the last couple of weeks, they should be able to weather that storm and should be able to find a way to come out on top tonight.
Yeah, my Perazzi points tonight for the NC State Ice Pack. I think we talked to head coach Tim Healy last night. He said, keep it 5-on-5. This team plays remarkable 5-on-5. There's no one better than on 5-on-5. That's what coach said. That's what NC State has to do. Something they worked on at practice last night that we saw Zach Herman even try to draw up something, breaking out of their own defensive end into the neutral zone. That's going to be key against a fast team like South Carolina. And my third point is going to be just overall, it's very humid in this arena tonight, Chris. We saw the effects of Hurricane Helene today. It's the reason why we have an hour delay of puck drop. It's very humid in here. Ice conditions could play a massive factor tonight.
Well, we're just about set to get things rolling. We're going to step aside here when we come back. It's alumni night, so we're honoring some of the alumni of the NC State hockey program, and we'll be back with Puck Drop after this.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Life is for learning, from baby steps to big ideas. We plan, try, fail, and do better next time. Each day is a new experiment, a fresh chance to seek answers, connection, purpose. The mind is not a vessel to be filled. It's rocket fuel. And when you start at NC State University, you can't be stopped. NC State. Think and do.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome back to Invisalign Arena. Chris Lehman. We've got starting lineups down on the ice. NC State will be in their white uniforms tonight. Gamecocks in all black. But we'll throw it down to the ice here for the starting lineups and for the ceremonial puck drop.
South Carolina is led by head coach Alan Zirwa. And now, ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together, get on your feet. It's time to meet the starting lineup for your North Carolina State Ice Pack. Starting at forward after rescue number 19, and equipment manager, Jess Todd. Ladies and gentlemen, for our ceremonial face-off this evening, we would like to honor the 2018-2019 Ice Pack to celebrate the 5th anniversary of their incredible season. This team was led by head coach Mike Gazzillo and captain Sam Banishevitz. Thank you. Banishevitz went 22-0 in the regular season and then added 5 straight wins in the postseason to get 27-0 before finally falling in nationals. They were the first Ice Pack and ACCHL team to get nationals. This started a run of 4 straight ACCHL titles and started the correct streak of 6 straight ACHA postseason appearances. Captain Sam Banishevitz is joined by Ice Pack Captain Zach Herman and USC Captain for tonight's face-off, along with team members of Alex Long, Eric Mira, Ian Hutchinson, Leif Janagala, Parker Cedric, Owen Drugan, Riley Johnson, and Ian O'Rourke, as well as coaching staff Mike Gazzillo, Tim Healy, and Alex Rosetto.
All right, there's the ceremonial puck drop as we honor the 2018-19 NC State Ice Pack made the first trip in program history to nationals. The team leader there in Sam Banishevitz dropping the puck, joined by a good number of his teammates from that team, as well as head coach Mike Gazzillo, who we will get to talk to here in the first intermission as they get set for the national anthem. Here, we'll step aside for a moment, come back with puck drop.
We talk forever about the future, worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of DH Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually like in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Now at the line of Holden Kaufman, Nick Shook, and Reese Johnson to start the game. But in that, as we mentioned, in the white uniforms tonight against the Gamecocks, and I'll be really interested to see the South Carolina team, Nick, as they get going, because as mentioned in the pregame, this is kind of a prove-it game for them. They're making that transition over into the ACHA. They're, as we mentioned, a team that could potentially make the move up to Division I in the ACCHL with that group of teams that's already been announced. So this is a chance for them to show that they can play with the, so to speak, big boys in the ACHA. And We're ready to get things rolling. Kaufman on the draw up against John Riggins, leading scorer for the South Carolina team. Riggins wins it. They'll be forced up that far wall. Loose puck collected by Holden Kaufman. Up the middle, Shook receives it at center ice. Cuts to the near side, slides past a hip check, and chips it deep. Bouncing puck, swatted on goal, and it'll be steered away by Zach Hayes, who gets the start tonight. Quick action here early, a lot of pace. Quick shot from Kaufman, bodied away by Hayes. Back in the possession of Kaufman. He'll leave it for Shook in the corner, cycling with it. Backhanded down low for Johnson. He'll leave it behind the net for Holden Kaufman. Back up the wall, Weglars holds the zone. Off the stick of Shook and out into neutral ice. NC State will regroup. They need a change, so they'll send it deep and do so.
A lot of good offensive pressure early on for NC State. They're definitely doing what South Carolina needed to do right off puck drop and just hit them in the face, dominate time of possession, and get the offense going as they get harassed in their own end.
NC State will move it up the near wall. Breakout pass disrupted and stolen by Jake Pushkar. Gamecocks back in control. Here's Nick Kay. Chips it deep. NC State first to it. James will backhand it around the wall for the captain, Zach Herman. Chipped along for Willoughby Ray. They'll push it up that far wall. Stalled out at the red line by Kay. He can't maintain possession, and NC State regroups. Quickly up that far wall for Willoughby Ray. He'll sidestep some pressure, looking for some help, and he finds it on the near side in Sawden. Sawden goes to the far corner with the dump in. Clearance held in by James. He'll leave it along the side wall for Brooks Willoughby Ray. Top of the circle, looking to the high slot, on and off of his stick, and out into neutral ice again. NC State, good pressure. They haven't really been able to generate much in the offensive zone yet, though.
No, they haven't, and I think a reason why is South Carolina swarming to whoever has the puck, putting as much pressure as they can on the puck carrier, forcing them to give up the puck, whether it's a shot, a dump in, or a pass, as they try to send it out. It hits the netting, though, but that's a really good first 2 minutes, 6 seconds of play, though, for NC State. South Carolina is starting to get that pressure back defensively, like I just mentioned, but maybe 30 seconds has not been in this South Carolina defensive end. NC State right now has been dominating time possession. They're dominating this half the ice. Can they get something early to go, or can South Carolina respond and get down the other way?
Face-off won by Joey Govea. Shot from Robinson. Pinballs through traffic and wide. Robinson over to the far side. Steals the breakout pass and sweeps it back in behind the goal. Well, one thing that NC State would like to utilize this season is this speed. They feel like they're a really fast team, and when they can utilize it is when they're most effective. Clearance right in on Isaac Toyer. No option but to cover it up, and the face-off will come in the NC State zone.
Yeah, and like you mentioned, the speed, Chris, they want to utilize it. The South Carolina team's got a lot of speed, too. And I think NC State, though, a much younger team, they're going to play a little bit faster, but South Carolina brings that physicality with that speed.
NC State pushes it up and out on the near wall. Gifford lost an edge there, and South Carolina takes back over. Just into the zone, Carson Scove's shot deflects up into the netting behind the goal, and we'll get another face-off in front of the NC State goal.
I was going to say, this is the line you want to look out for South Carolina, but they're going to change their forwards, bringing in Winkelbach and Marcella, as well as Berman. But 25, John Riggins leads the team in scoring, and you mentioned before Carson Scove, number 18. Look out for those two players in black and blood red.
Gamecocks win the draw. Open man, high slot. That shot blocked by Ricky Frosch over to the near side. Thrown back on goal. Might have been deflected on the way in, but Toyer able to handle it, and he'll hold on. Starting to see South Carolina tip the scales back in their favor a bit here.
Now Zach Robinson right here, as we take a look right off the draw, he's going to dive down to stop this. Now South Carolina wins the draw all the way back to center ice, but he has to dive down to block this shot, and he just got a stick on it, which was all that was needed there to prevent that scoring chance for the Gamecocks.
South Carolina chips it out into neutral ice. They'll move it along. Sent deep on the chase is Matthew Winkelbach. First one there, though, is an NC State defenseman. They'll move it up the near side. Emery Oliver with some speed. Centering pass, sticked away there by Hayes and into the far corner. A pinching Weglars holds the zone. He'll carry it behind the net. Pestered there as he gets pinned to the wall. Puck taken away. Aiden Dunphy in control for the Gamecocks. And his breakout pass ends up in the hands of the NC State defense. Here's Thronson. looking rink wide, has a man open there, hits Weglars, looking back to the middle. Weglars blown up there at the blue line. He looks like he'll get up and be fine though. South Carolina now on the attack. They'll battle for it up close there in the corner. That's Andrew Henderson. Loses it behind the net. NC State will now look to break it up and out. Heavy hitting along that near wall. Kept in, glove down in front by Weglars. Puck still loose, and it'll be chipped into the corner. South Carolina, all kinds of pressure right now as NC State just tries to get out of their own zone. Shook, weaving up the middle of the ice. As he gains the blue line, he'll pitchfork it deep and chase it down. Gamecocks first to it. They'll possess, looking to break out. Broken up in front. They score! Nick Shook on a beautiful feed from Johnson, who made the steal in the corner, and NC State breaks the ice less than 5 minutes in.
What a pretty goal here. Shook's going to be the reason why this play happens. The hit right there, and then watch Reese Johnson crash that corner. He makes the hit on the defenseman. Shook circled back around. He's right in front knowing, hey, Johnson's going to get this puck. I'm wide open right in front of the net. That's exactly what happens, and what a start for the Ice Pack. They take a 1-0 advantage, and really just being aggressive on that forecheck. Was going to say the physicality is starting to come and play for both teams, and Nick Shook and Reese Johnson showed it right there.
South Carolina looking to mount a counter here. Up the far wing. Broken up over on the far side by James. NC State in control. Sawed it up the near wall. That breakout pass swatted right back in by Brendan Flaherty. Gamecocks to work below the goal line. Loose puck collected by NC State Sawden. Trying to send it up the wall again, and again it's Flaherty holding the line. Nick Shook, the goal scorer, picks it up off the kick plate, gains the red line, and sends it back behind the Gamecock net. Pitched around by the goaltender Hayes. Plenty of time and space there for Nick Kay. Looking to the far side, it's hard off the wall, and NC State takes over. It's Ricky Frosch. Has a man up the middle, and Herman elects to go off the wall, and it's stolen far side and chipped back in. Bouncing puck. Both teams struggling to get control on the near side. Eventually the Gamecocks come away with it. Frosch steps in front of the pass down to the goal line and disrupts. But South Carolina still with the pressure. Down into the corner, behind the net, centering pass, stolen away. NC State will move it up and out. Some space here now for Prasma. Steps around a defender, great hit there, but it's going to be a penalty. And up in arms is the South Carolina bench, and honestly, I got to agree with them. That was a pretty well executed hip check. They're going to call interference, but it was pretty close after he had chipped that puck in.
I think they jumped the gun there, and South Carolina's they've got the ability there to be up in arms. I agree with them. The puck's still in play. It's a one-on-one opportunity. It's not like the puck was already in the corner and two other players are going at it. And the first penalty goes to Zachary List, or excuse me, number 23, Ben Riccitelli. Not a good penalty. That clearance can't get out, but a big chance for the Ice Pack nevertheless. Just, I don't know, Chris. We saw a couple of bad calls against High Point and not a good start here tonight for the refs.
Well, NC State has a dangerous power play. That was one of the things the first time I watched them in practice this season that stuck out immediately was how well this top unit can move the puck and create chances. Centering pass off the stick of Prasma, back to James at the blue line. He'll slide it down low for Herman. Left for Willoughby Ray, who hands it back. Up the wall for James, and it hops his stick out of the zone. NC State will have to reset. A little bit of pressure applied by Thomas Loken. And NC State will have to retreat all the way back. James left for Prasma in the neutral zone. Chips his way through traffic in on goal. He's hooked up. No call, and the rebound goes wide as well. Good chance there for Prasma. NC State maintains the zone, but only for a moment as it's caught up in the skates of Willoughby Ray and then cleared out. Full line change here for the penalty kill for the Gamecocks. Willoughby Ray knocked off the puck down in the corner. Pardon me, that's Gifford down there. Good work here by the South Carolina penalty kill. They've got NC State jammed up deep in their own end. Reaching defenseman throws that one at the net. That was List. Stretch pass through the neutral zone. Govea able to handle it. He'll come in looking for some help coming from behind. Slides it around for Robinson. He'll carry it along the wall. Slips it back down below the goal line looking for Gifford. It'll be swatted along by the Gamecock penalty kill. They'll look to clear it up the wall. Doesn't get out. Centering pass is stolen away, and now South Carolina can move up and out. Down to 15 seconds on the power play. Great takeaway. Guess who? Reese Johnson. He'll set up Gifford in all alone. Big save made. The rebound goes in. Once again, it's Reese Johnson, the catalyst, and NC State strikes on the power play. It's 2-0.
You mentioned it, it's all Reese Johnson. Watch him just harass with the stick and then take the puck right off of Zachary List's stick. He goes right out in front. Gifford can't get a good look. It gets blocked, but then Johnson's on the left side, and to clean everything up, I believe that was Joey Govea, and it's 2-0 NC State, and it's really, like you said, Chris, all because of the play of Reese Johnson. He has had a stamp on the first 8 minutes of this game. He's been the reason why the Ice Pack have been able to go up 2-0, and that's a power play goal for the Pack.
It's 2 takeaways from Reese Johnson that directly lead to those goals. A great start, and you can see why he is paired up with 2 players like Holden Kaufman and Nick Shook at 5-on-5 play. Fantastic start for Johnson. 8 minutes into this one right now, NC State out shooting South Carolina 5-1, of course, leading 2-0 on the scoreboard as well. Gamecocks have had some opportunities, haven't really been able to test Isaac Toyer all that much though. Behind the net, Ice Pack have the numbers, they'll come away with it. Weglars looking to the middle for some help. NC State not able to maintain possession, but they do clear into neutral ice. Sent right back to Weglars. He'll look it over and then elevate it back into the Gamecocks end. Good crowd on hand here tonight as well as Weglars steps into the hit. Puck jarred loose. Here's Prasma trying to curl and drag. That's knocked loose. South Carolina back in control. It's Riggins turning it around. He's got some speed up that left wing. Stepping to the middle around James, but the puck gets caught up in the defenseman's skates, and NC State can flip it back the other way. Here's Willoughby Ray, has Prasma and Herman with him. Looking for Herman in the slot. It's out of his reach. And South Carolina pushes it back up. Sodden stands tall at the blue line. Nice steal here by the defenseman. Herman high slot, and a save made on that wrist shot as Hayes has been tested early and often here. Big hit in the corner by Prasma. Puck still loose in there, and now a lot of pushing and shoving. We've got a hand up. Another penalty coming. This time it will go against NC State as the Gamecocks move forward. Trying to score before the power play. Centering pass stolen, and Herman will touch up. We're going to get a penalty here. We'll see if it's just one or if we're going to get multiple. It looks like it'll be a cross-check on NC State. We got a lot going on down in that corner. And so the first power play opportunity for South Carolina coming up.
And it's going to be on Brooks Willoughby Ray for that cross-check. The entire South Carolina bench wanted to call him. Prasma's check in that corner as well. That's what they wanted. The hand came up later for the cross-check on Willoughby Ray, and good chance here for South Carolina to answer back, down 2-0. They get a call to go their way this time, and they're going to try to set up this power play.
Top of the umbrella, shot deflected wide from Brendan Flaherty. NC State will find the rebound over in that far corner and clear it all the way down. You look at that hit by Prasma, and I thought maybe we would see an arm go up on that one. The one argument I think you would have if you're Prasma is the defenseman turned a little bit late to create that situation, and that may be why it wasn't called. South Carolina trying to break it in, very quickly stolen and cleared back out by the NC State penalty kill. Already 40 seconds gone on the man advantage. NC State will allow a pretty clean breakout. Flaherty gets to the blue line, sends it deep. Thronson will slap it all the way around and out. This is a power play so far for South Carolina that just has not been able to find their rhythm. They'll send out their second unit now.
Yeah, I'm not really impressed with that first minute for South Carolina. Scove taking it all the way deep once to the corner, and then they try to wrap it around the boards. No one there at the point. Here's attempt number 3, though, for the Gamecocks.
They'll get set up this time. Top of the near circle. Pass down low. Right back out to the slot. It's stolen away. Maybe one too many passes there with just one shot right now and no shots on the power play for South Carolina. I think you're getting to a point where you want to just start getting pucks on net and seeing how Toyer handles it. Because he's gone 11 minutes and only seen one shot so far. 20 seconds left on the power play for the Gamecocks. Just under 9 minutes left in this first period. Shot coming from the blue line doesn't get through. NC State will clear it out again. That was a good block from Emery Oliver. Running out of time on the power play. Gamecocks trying to force the issue as they send it deep. They'll battle for it in that near corner. And the South Carolina Gamecocks come away with it. James jams it up below the goal line. Back to 5-on-5 hockey now. And South Carolina gets set up in the offensive end. Shot coming from the point. Doesn't get to Toyer. Battle for the rebound again. Spun out in front. This time Toyer trying to get a hold of it. Finally does. And it'll be blown dead with 8:16 left in this first period. But a great penalty kill there from NC State. They did not give South Carolina a chance to get anything going.
No, they didn't. That actually was blown dead a little early. Ref saying, my bad. You can see on the camera from the corner. But that last opportunity for South Carolina is the best they've looked offensively tonight. And you know, they're not getting a lot of speed on some of these pucks towards the net. They're looking a little discombobulated, looking for people who should be in front of the net who aren't, as NC State once again clears it down, but it goes into the bench. But like we said, Chris, you know, South Carolina's got to play fast. Pre-game warm-ups, it seemed like they had a lot of mustard on their shots, and so far, you know, I haven't seen that from South Carolina yet. Maybe they just need something to spark this team, and I think that they need to get a spark going.
8:06 on the clock. Another offensive zone draw for the Gamecocks. NC State wins this one. Swept up the near wall. Nick Shook breaks in. Steps around his defender. He'll chase the puck down behind the net. Throws it out in front. Hits a body and deflects back up to the top of the circle, where Reese Johnson can send a pass to the middle that's intercepted. Now the Gamecocks looking to move in transition. Marcella stopped up along the half wall. Able to get it down below the goal line before he's knocked down. NC State finds the loose puck. It's Holden Kaufman lugging it up that far right wing. He'll step into the blue line. Poked off his stick. South Carolina back in control as Marcella sweeps it to the middle. Pinballs around before Richitelli picks it up and gains the blue line. Taken away again by NC State. Kaufman up to Shook. He'll pitch it forward. Now looks like NC State will go off for a change here. Karen pestered all the way out of his own zone, lost the puck. Chance here for Robinson. His shot elevated over the net. NC State creating a lot of chances off of turnovers here in this first period. Now Thronson finds Govea at the blue line. He'll be knocked off the puck, but he is able to get it deep. Robinson in on the forecheck, bodies up his man, but it's absorbed nicely. And the Gamecocks able to break it out. Again, can't maintain possession as now Weglars throws it off the netting and out of play. So a face-off should be out in neutral ice here, but NC State not giving South Carolina a lot of clean looks coming out of their own zone.
No, they aren't. I mean, South Carolina is trying to get out of their own zone. They're just kind of throwing the puck to center ice and hoping for the best. They're not really passing the puck to center ice. They're not trying to find a forward or a winger up there. And I think that right now that's why South Carolina is just having a lot of trouble in general getting it back out. And NC State says, all right, we're going to try this forecheck once again after they get that face-off win.
South Carolina able to break it up and out. Riggins gains the blue line, backhands it right in on Toyer. Nice job tracking the puck there by Isaac Toyer as he squeezes it into the glove for another face-off.
And I think when you look at the scoreboard, you know, 5-4 in the shot, South Carolina's catching up. It doesn't really feel like that. NC State's had opportunities. They're just playing it deep right now, trying to take control of this game.
Riggins, to this point, a 2-point-per-game player for South Carolina, leads the team with 5 goals. This is a smart play just to try and float one in on Toyer and see what he does when he hasn't seen as many shots here in this first period. Icing called as the stretch pass doesn't connect. Face-off comes back into the NC State zone. 6:09 left in the first period.
And there you go. South Carolina's going to get Carson Scove out there. They've already got John Riggins out there. They're going to try to load up here on this face-off. They're going to try to win it and then try to set things up and get something going offensively. They're getting more shots. But like you said, Chris, these shots aren't really the greatest. They float something in with some speed at work. They lose the face-off.
Here goes Prasma. He's got Willoughby Ray with speed to the net. First shot stopped by Hayes, and unfortunately Prasma lost an edge and couldn't get to the rebound. They'll go toe-to-toe with a Gamecock in the corner. South Carolina comes out with possession as Riggins moves it up that far left wing. Steps around his defenseman and Weglars to the middle. South Carolina can't get a shot away. NC State back in control. Thronson below the goal line has Willoughby Ray as you see it up close. He'll go rink wide, finds Herman, back to the middle for Prasma. He's going to step around his men. Daniel Prasma hooked up, stays on his feet, and the shot is stopped by Hayes. South Carolina reverses the flow of play here. Flaherty through the neutral zone, stopped up at the blue line. Prasma comes flying in, missed on that hit. NC State will look to break it up the near wall and out. Held in nicely at the moment by Flaherty. He's done a great job along the blue line for South Carolina so far. NC State is able to push it up and out. Here's Willoughby Ray. Looking over his options, throws it into the near corner where it can be tracked down. Oliver sweeps one to the middle. That pass stolen away, but back comes Scott Daniel to knock it loose. Oliver first to the loose puck. He'll throw it off the wall and down in. Daniel on the forecheck, forces it up this near wall. South Carolina looking to break it out. Again, struggling to get any flow through the neutral zone. Gamecocks needed a change, so they'll send it deep. NC State going to work below their own goal line, trying to move it up and out. Alex James up the wall. Daniel unable to break it out. James there to support, loses it. Shot blocked on the way in. Good work there by Lapani in front of the net to keep that from getting to Toyer. NC State finally exits the zone. They'll get some fresh bodies out there as South Carolina sends it deep again. Lapani has one man coming. Sends it back up that far wall. It's scooped up by NC State's Austin Finch. Resets behind their own goal. Thrown off that far wall where it can be collected by Johnson. Has Kaufman coming. Shook in late shot. Blocked there by Hayes. Might have caught the side of the net as well. Now Nick Shook going to work below the goal line. He's going to be tied up when they going to call a penalty here on Shook. I thought he was the one who got tied up, but he's the one who's going to the box for a hold. And it turns from cheers to boos here at Invisalign Arena, and the second power play opportunity for the Gamecocks.
And he'll try to plead his case here. It's going to be a hold. That's a close one. But it takes that's a big break though for South Carolina. They kind of got screwed earlier in the game. That first goal that NC State has on the power play was off a very, very ticky-tacky call. Get a ticky-tacky call here. South Carolina trying to say, hey, puck don't lie here. That might be the case, but they got to get something rolling on offense. A lot of just empty trips, a lot of weak shots, and when they are getting these weak shots on net, you know, it's pretty easy for Toyer to trap it or it gets blocked on the way there.
South Carolina controls off the draw. Behind the net now is Pushka. Worked back up top. Here on the near side, Riggins takes the shot, and it's right into the glove of Isaac Toyer. Did a good job looking through the traffic to find that one. 15 seconds off the power play. 3.5 minutes left here in the period.
That's the best shot South Carolina's had today. John Riggins, a lot of traffic, your leading goal scorer. That's what you want. Right into the glove of Isaac Toyer, though didn't even have to move it.
NC State wins the faceoff. Bronson throws it up the near wall, but not out. Riggins will hand it off for Tommy Marvin. Back to Riggins. Again, it's Marvin on the blue line. Slides it down low. They'll continue to work it around. Marvin again. Riggins, cross ice, in the skates of a teammate. That will allow NC State to clear it all the way down. And some pressure here from Gifford. As NC State gets a couple of fresh bodies out there after the clearance. Here's Riggins again. Sends a caddy corner. Wegler's first there for NC State. Up the wall. Gifford slaps it up and out. Kaufman will chase this time as Gifford needs the change. Halfway through the power play, 2:45 left in this first period, 2-0 lead for NC State. Stood up at the blue line, there's Tommy Marvin. Loose puck, NC State tries to clear but can't. South Carolina back in control. Marvin at the blue line. Cycles it down behind the net, it'll work all the way into the near corner. Gamecocks back up top. Marvin sets up the one-timer that whistles wide from that far circle. 2:20 left in the period, 35 seconds. Another one-timer. This one doesn't get through as Thronson blocks it. Looked like he was feeling that one too. Good sequence here for South Carolina. Still looking to get one past Isaac Toyer. Loose on the side of the net. Chance here for Riggins. He fans on the shot. It doesn't come out yet though. Still time on the power play. Marvin into the near corner. Quick shot. And And it's deflected out of play with 10 seconds left on the penalty to Nick Shook. And that's the best sequence we've seen from South Carolina so far, Nick.
Yeah, and it's going to be frustrating for this team in terms of chemistry, in terms of trying to get back in it. You know, a lot of great opportunities, but that's the best they've looked tonight. They got to use that as a spark. 2 one-timers from Marco Pineda. You got Riggins in there as well with a couple of shovel chances. They lose this face-off. That's going to be the end of the power play, but that's a good-looking power play for your South Carolina. It generated some momentum.
NC State gets Nick Shook back. It's 5-on-5 hockey, and that's icing as well, as NC State cleared it a little bit too late. And so an offensive zone draw here for the Gamecocks.
And they're going to bring out Carson Scove here on this faceoff. Riggins as well. They're going to bring Enzo Finelli. So they're getting that first line offense out there again. They might be a little tired, but with a minute 42 left, head coach Alan Sarah saying, hey, we got momentum right now. We've been dominating the last 5 minutes on NC State's end. Let's try to put one in the back of the net, cut the lead in half before the first break.
There's a discussion over next to the NC State net between the two officials. I'm not sure what the conversation was there about, but won't have any impact on resuming the game here. Gamecocks still in control. Well, Karen sends it around the wall. NC State able to collect there. It's Willoughby Ray through the spin cycle. Sends it up for Sodden on the near side. NC State able to chip it up and out. First one to it is James. He's got some help, but a nice job defensively by Richatelli to deny the centering pass. Otherwise, NC State had a couple of guys in all alone. South Carolina now in transition. Down to the last 65 seconds of this first period. Shot in through traffic. Toyer makes the first save, and he swallows up the rebound. Might have gotten a little lucky there. That was all about positioning for the NC State netminder, because I don't think he saw the initial shot.
No, he did it, and Josh Wilkins nearly shoveled one in the 5-hole. That was a really dangerous opportunity, and the momentum is there for South Carolina. They finally have offensive chances. They're looking like that team we thought we were going to see tonight. You're building at the end of the period. You're going to want to try to get one across before the end of the period, like I said before. But if not, you got to keep that momentum going into the locker room.
NC State cleanly out of their own end. And Herman sends it deep, goes after it. Hayes, the goaltender, out to play it. But NC State still able to control and hold the zone. Willoughby Ray slides it across on the blue line. Sodden has some trouble handling it. It's out of the zone. NC State will have to regroup and head back in. Sodden chips it deep. Gamecocks will move it back out. Clavin moves it up. Able to connect there with Dunphy, who has it knocked away at the blue line. South Carolina continues to press down to the last 20 seconds of the period. Clavin, shot blocked in traffic. Govea settles it down for NC State. His clearing pass is stolen away, though, and it's Josh Wilkins moving down that near wing. 9 seconds left in the period. James shovels it along, looking for Robinson, but that's taken away. Centering pass now cleared out by James, and that should finish off the first period. As NC State got off to a hot start, they scored 2 goals in the first about 7.5 minutes. But it evened out after that. NC State out shooting the Gamecocks 7-6, and they lead it 2-0 here.
Yeah, and a really good showing to start for NC State. They looked like the better team right out the gate, got 2 quick goals. They got Nick Shook, just 5 minutes of the game on the power play. Joey Govea, thanks to the play of Reese Johnson. The freshman and sophomore, I think, are playing really good for NC State tonight. But momentum being built from South Carolina as Tim Healy has some discussions with the Zebras.
Well, we're set for the first intermission here at Invisalign Arena. We've got a treat. Former head coach of this NC State Ice Pack team, Mike Gazzillo, will join me when we come back.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
When you look at me, you might see
a person with Parkinson's disease.
But if you look closer,
you'll see
a warrior mom,
an endurance athlete,
someone with a lot of fight.
Every 9 minutes, someone is diagnosed with Parkinson's disease.
And every one of them can turn to the American Parkinson Disease Association.
Look closer.
My spirit is unshakable. Visit apdaparkinson.org to learn more and show your support today.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
It's a 2-0 lead for the Ice Pack after 20 minutes. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi with you here at the first intermission. And Nick, really hot start for NC State. They get a power play goal early, and then they pick up a second goal. Really want to talk about the guy who set up both goals, and that is Reese Johnson. 2 great takeaways to get those chances for NC State. They directly lead to the goals. One of them immediately after, another one, a little bit of a sequence after that, but you got to look at his play there and how he has really catalyzed NC State early.
And both of those goals were generated off his forecheck. First one for Nick Shook, Reese Johnson in the corner with a nice forecheck. Shook also gave a hit, but Reese Johnson made a hit, got the puck back. Nick Shook did the right thing, curled around the net, was ready in the slot, waiting for Reese Johnson. He ultimately didn't make the pass because someone else had gotten there, but it's 1-0 Ice Pack. Second goal generated by Reese Johnson. Just coming back the other way, South Carolina trying to work it through the neutral zone. A lot of good stick work from Reese Johnson, able to knock that puck away, knock it loose, goes down the other way. It generates a goal for Joey Govea. Reese Johnson has been all over this game tonight. Really, the freshman as a whole. We've seen Prasma a couple times have a lot of good opportunities on going really by himself into the offensive end. A couple of nice moves trying to undress
Created
some
a
guys.
power play.
Exactly, created a power play because of it. Whether it was ticky-tacky or not, that's up to discussion. But so far, the freshmen are bringing the juice for NC State tonight.
Yeah, and then you look at the rest of the period. NC State was out shooting South Carolina at 1.51. It ended 7-6, so they got outshot 5-2 after that. And certainly it seemed like the ice leveled out a bit and South Carolina started to get their chances. But one thing I do want to take a look at, one thing that the coaching staff emphasized to us last night that has been an emphasis from the start of the season is discipline and staying out of the penalty box. They want to play 5-on-5. They did take 2 penalties this period.
Yeah, they took 2. First one... Well, the second one was on Nick Shook, a little bit of a holding call. The first one, though, could have been called on Prasma. They get Brooks Willoughby Ray, I believe. And that one, a lot of big hits in that corner. That's when the game started getting really physical. Second one on Shook, like I said, a little ticky-tacky, but at the end of the day, you got to stay out of the box. NC State wants to do that. 0-for-2 right now. And like we said yesterday at practice, head coach Tim Healy told us this team is unstoppable if they play 5-on-5. They've got to stay 5-on-5, and you go down a man, it can create momentum like we saw at the end of the period for the Gamecocks.
Well, it is still a 2-0 lead for NC State after 20 minutes. After this break, we're going to turn back time a bit as former head coach Mike Gazzillo joins me here on the intermission.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
We're back with former head coach Mike Gazzillo of the NC State Ice Pack. Coach, great to have you back on. It's been a while, but before we kind of get into everything that's going on tonight, I want to start, since you are a former coach, with the way that first period went for NC State.
Yeah, I mean, I like the way the team looks. I like the speed of the game. It looks like they got some really good talent. You know, they're aggressive. They're in on the puck quick. They're getting shots to the net. So I think it's a really good-looking club.
Well, and you talk about the way they look and kind of the progression of this program we've been able to see over the past 10 to 15 years. You were obviously a big part of that. There are a lot of big changes. What impresses you or maybe surprises you the most about where this team has come at this point?
I mean, realistically, I knew Tim was probably going to take it to another level, and that's good. That's kind of what I had hoped for anyway, right? You always want to make something better when you get there and then leave it for someone else to make better than what you had. I think he's got a lot of staff around him now, which is good. I never really had that. I know there's a lot of social media involvement now, which is something I didn't really ever get involved in. But yeah, I mean, and the jump to Division I is nice to see. I wouldn't have thought it would be this quick, but it's nice to see, and obviously they're doing well, so I think they're built for it.
Absolutely, and you kind of were able to get reunited with one of the teams I would imagine is one of the more special teams for you, that first team that gets to Nationals back in 2019. See guys like Sam Banashevitz out there. How was it to see those guys and kind of reunite with some of those guys?
I mean, I've seen a couple of them from time to time just from being in the area. But, yeah, I mean, just getting together just before everything went on, like behind the bench there, and just the goofing around and the whole bit, it brought back some really good memories. It's great to see those guys, especially when we're in a little bit of a group setting.
Well, and obviously, I'm assuming a little less stressful for you when you don't have to be behind the bench for these games.
Much.
So coming just to watch it, what do you enjoy about the atmosphere that has been created here now?
Yeah, I mean, the crowd is great. You're right. I mean, I don't have to think. I could just watch and enjoy, which is very different, because when you're behind the bench, you're watching the game, but you're always in your mind, you're second guessing things that I wish it would have went this way, or planning for what I want to do, or if I'm looking at the clock, I'm trying to figure out who I want to get out at certain times. So now it's just a matter of literally being able to watch and enjoy a game.
Chris Lehman alongside former head coach Mike Gazzillo of the NC State Ice Pack. We'll make you think just one more time here before I let you go. So you look ahead at this next period from a coaching perspective. What are you looking at for NC State?
I mean, I think just keep doing what they're doing, right? I mean, again, aggressive on the forecheck, pushing the pace. A little surprised that the shots on goal are so close, but I think we just had some better opportunities, and I think they'll capitalize on them again. So I would suspect, they'd get a couple more this period. I think if they just keep their foot on the gas, I think they're going to be in good shape.
All right, Coach. Well, thanks for coming back on with us
Thank
again.
you
It was a
very
pleasure
much.
to have you, and we'll let you enjoy the rest of the game.
Thank you.
That's former head coach Mike Gazzillo, the NC State Ice Pack. We'll be back with more here at the second intermission.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of DH Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Chris Lehman back with Nick Perazzi here at the second intermission. About 5 minutes left until the two teams head back out onto the ice for the second 20 minutes. And Nick, obviously we talked about it a little bit earlier on in this intermission, but overall, good period for NC State, just a few things to clean up. And I think more so, I want to look at this from a South Carolina perspective because just talked with the former head coach, Mike Gazzillo. One of the things that he highlighted that I had kind of thought about a little bit, but we hadn't mentioned yet, was the quality of chances. NC State, even though the shots are pretty even, the quality of their chances are better, which is evidenced somewhat, I should say, by the fact that they have 2 goals and South Carolina has none. So how do you turn those into quality chances if you're South Carolina?
Well, I think for South Carolina, and I was going to say, Chris, I want to talk about the second period from a Gamecock standpoint as well. But from their standpoint, creating chances, we saw it at the end of the period. They had a lot more better chances. They're starting to get Marco Pinedo, some one-timers on that power play. But you got to go to your go-to guys as well. Got to get Higgins involved. You also got to get Scove involved. You got to get those two. Those are your 2 main points getters, your goal scorers. You've got to get them the puck. You've got to set them up, whether with traffic in front, move the puck around like we saw at the beginning of that second power play. I thought the puck movement for the Gamecocks was really, really phenomenal. But Pinedo just couldn't handle a puck, goes all the way back down. They have the line change. So I think it's just getting everybody on sync and getting traffic in front, as well as keep setting up those one-timers. Get Toyer a little uncomfortable in the net. We saw a couple times where traffic was the key in front of the net. So if South Carolina builds off that, then they will see those chances to increase.
Well, I think the other thing for South Carolina, you talked about getting it to some of their big guns. It felt like Riggins had the puck plenty. Yeah. We heard his name a lot. I said his name a lot. So I think getting him the puck has not been the problem. The thing that I want to see from South Carolina, if they're going to get back into this game and create some quality chances, is play around the blue line. NC State did a fantastic job, whether they held the zone or not, of disrupting that breakout, not allowing South Carolina cleanly into the neutral zone and into that transition game. And then if they did force it up the wall, get possession across the red line, NC State was stopping up their own blue line. They weren't allowing clean entries. I can think of maybe 2 or 3 instances where South Carolina got into the zone cleanly, and if they're not able to get in the zone cleanly, it's harder to get possession back, it's harder to get things set up, and in turn, it's harder to create those chances.
Yeah, and we saw that on the first power play especially, just not getting into their own zone, the offensive zone. They send the puck around the boards. NC State's right there. Nobody at the point for South Carolina. Goes right back into their own defensive end. Resets everything. Another time, Scove tries to take it deep in all by himself. 3 Ice Pack players there. They easily win the puck back. South Carolina a little lagging back, especially those 2 defensive men. I've noticed a lot tonight. South Carolina, the 2 defensive men on offense, no matter who's out there, first, second, third line defensive men, they're not holding the point well offensively, and I think that's a big reason why the NC State's just able to chip the puck out every single time.
Yeah, well, for NC State, I think as we turn and look at them, we mentioned they've done a lot well. I think it might be a little bit picky, but from a breakout perspective, getting into the neutral zone, there have been some times where they struggled with that as well. But the big thing we hit on at the end of our first segment here, this intermission, discipline, discipline, discipline. Keep it 5-on-5 or take the power plays. But NC State is going to have to stay out of the box. We talked about how things kind of shifted later in the period. Part of that is because they took some penalties.
Yeah, and I think a reason that we could see a decrease this period is if some of those veterans in the locker room speak up, because we saw Willoughby Ray, we saw Prasma, and we saw Shook, 2 freshmen and a sophomore. The steam's going to run a little higher for those freshmen and sophomores because they are not veterans. They don't have the experience of keeping their cool as much as these veterans do. They're not going to play as smartly. They can razzle and dazzle, but they're not going to play as smartly. So I think if you're the leadership in the NC State locker room, you're going to say, hey, let's play a lot cleaner. Let's think first before we act.
All right, well, we're just about set to start the second period. We'll take one more break and come back with period number 2. NC State up 2-0 after 20 minutes.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Fresh 20 minutes up on the clock here at Invisalign Arena as we get set for period number 2 between NC State and South Carolina. NC State with goals from Nick Shook and Joey Govea lead this one 2-0. You got to look there at Isaac Toyer and now at Zach Hayes in net for South Carolina. It's the period of the long change as they've swapped ends. We'll see if that has any impact on this one, but it'll be NC State's line of Holden Kaufman, Reese Johnson, and Nick Shook to start for the Ice Pack here this period, as John Riggins will face off against Kaufman for the Gamecocks. It's NC State winning the draw, and we're back underway here in North Carolina. NC State working with it D to D. Thronson looking up the middle, deflected off the stick of Kaufman, who gets it back. And his shot deflected up and out of play as Brendan Flaherty got a stick in the way. South Carolina wins the defensive zone draw, but can't clear. One-timer from Thronson deflected into the corner. Pinching in, Weglers carries it down into the corner. Sent around the wall, Thronson will step down and knock it deep for Nick Shook. Shook knocked off the puck momentarily, but he regains possession. Knocked away once again, loose in the neutral zone, and the Gamecocks will move into their offensive end. Riggins throws it around the wall. Nobody on the far side. Herman trying to chase it down. Unable to get there first, though. Riggins going at it there with Weglars, and Weglars going to get called for the penalty. I'm not exactly sure what he had a problem with there. That's just bad discipline. Riggins went to throw a reverse hit there, and Weglars obviously didn't like it, but he'll get 2 minutes for roughing.
To talk to these younger guys, and Weglars you just can't do that. That was a really good play behind the net by John Riggins, and unfortunately, you know, if you're NC State, you just can't have that up 2-0 like that. Give South Carolina some more momentum.
They win the draw. Shot through traffic, saved by Toyer, and he'll pounce on the rebound. Did a nice job controlling that. There was a Gamecock lurking at the back post to clean up the loose change.
Yeah, South Carolina had a power play at the end of that first period. And they've got a power play to start the second period. They generated a lot of momentum. Can they keep it going? That was the question going into intermission. This is a great opportunity to do so.
Another draw controlled by the Gamecocks. Work down low, quickly into the slot. One-timer just wide. Great chance there for Nick Kay. South Carolina still in control. Taken away, though, by James below the goal line. Has some help from Sodden, who didn't look like he quite got it out of the zone. And now NC State does clear it all the way down. A little over 30 seconds gone on the man advantage. Not even 2 minutes into this second period, though. Plenty of space up the near side for Flaherty. Lost control as he crossed the blue line. NC State pushes it back into the neutral zone, and the Gamecock power play will reset. Great play there by Finch to disrupt, or at least delay the Gamecocks' re-entry. Set around the boards and up the near side. James gets a stick to it, but South Carolina able to control. Bouncing puck loose in the slot. It'll be kicked over into the far corner, and South Carolina will set things up again. Shot coming from an off angle, blocked there by Sodden, and it's redirected out of the zone. 40 seconds left now on the man advantage.
South Carolina being really aggressive on the offensive end. The two defensive men are pinching from the points, crashing down.
Finch steals it away at the blue line. Fans on the clearance. Looks like there might be some puddles, particularly at this end of the rink. I've seen a couple of issues with the puck kind of getting stuck on the South Carolina players. It looked the same there for NC State. Good chance right in front. Sealing down low, though, was Toyer. And NC State will carry it out. Big hit as James is sent head over heels on that hip check. South Carolina back the other way. Odd man rush. Down low. Good chance, but it's Sodden stepping in with the poke check to knock it away. James looking to clear and can't. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey. High slot chance coming. Toyer fights it off, but it's still loose. Riggins turns with it. He shoots and scores, and it's a 2-1 hockey game.
You can only play with fire for so long. It's a saying I always love to shout out on here on the broadcast, and that's exactly what happened. NC State just on their heels the whole time. They can't clear the puck out. Just a turnaround and a snap from John Riggins, the junior from Bethpage, New York. And just like that, the lead's cut in half, and that momentum that South Carolina has, it's on full display now, Chris. It's a one-goal game. They're able to get that goal back. Not a power play goal, but the power play generated it, and that discipline for NC State comes to bite them in the butt.
Well, there's a bit of an old adage that the power play doesn't really end until the first whistle after it has come to fruition. Chance here off the rebound is sent high. And so that certainly seemed to be the case for South Carolina there. They have outshot NC State here in the first 3.5 minutes, 3-0. NC State, of course, spending most of that time trying to kill a penalty. Here's Prasma looking to respond. Slides it on goal, easily handled by Hayes, and they'll go to battle behind the net. South Carolina comes out with it. That's Riccitelli sending it all the way down. They're going to wave off icing as the first one there is Lapani. Dealing with two Gamecocks, though, has trouble controlling. Gets some help now from Ricky Frosch. Puck stuck up over on that far wall. Nice little drag there from Prasma. Wow, and behind the play, we're going to get a whistle. I'm not sure what Mulcairn was thinking there, but he had a death grip on Willoughby Ray's leg. Wouldn't let him go.
Well,
it was just the farthest thing from a hockey play I think I've ever seen in one of these games. And they're going to take Willoughby Ray, too. And it'll be roughing, and it's going to be 4-on-4.
Yeah, Willoughby Ray's talking to, well, in the penalty box. They're going at it still. Well, Garrett and Willoughby Ray, Willoughby Ray's barking. He's got some hand signals as well. They're still going at it. But, I mean, it looked like if you're Ronan Mulcairn there, you just take the penalty. They weren't going to call it. You just get back on the other end. But to hold him looked like he was trying to tackle him like it was a football play. But, again, for NC State, though, once again, another young gun picking up a penalty.
Well, this could be an advantage for NC State. A little bit more space out there for some of their skilled guys. They've elected to go with Holden Kaufman and Nick Shook. Here's Shook, high slot. Just missed that far post. Hayes might have gotten a blocker to it as well. And South Carolina will regroup. That's Dunphy looking cross ice. Able to connect there. Pass back to the middle. Chance shot. Big glove save made by Toyer as it deflected right to Aiden Dunphy on the pass from George Clavin.
And that's a defenseman, Aiden Dunphy, coming all the way down, leading the charge for that South Carolina offensive attack. But you mentioned, Chris, this could open things up for NC State. I'd like to see South Carolina get Riggins back out there. He's got a lot of speed as well as Scove. Just match the speed of NC State with the speed that you have.
Quick shot off the glove of Toyer and wide off that face-off. South Carolina riding the momentum right now. They'll cycle with it. Along the blue line, turning is Scove. Skate to stick, Dunphy. Looking down low, that pass disrupted, but South Carolina able to maintain control. It's Scove again. Top of the near circle, looking for a shooting lane, and wrists one just over the crossbar. Kaufman to the rebound, pestered there by Scove. Puck comes loose, and it's Sodden first to it for NC State. I don't think they have the energy here to really generate anything. They've been defending for a while, and now look at an offensive zone draw as Sodden throws it into the glove of Zach Hayes.
Well, that last scoring chance for South Carolina goes all the way back to the face-off. The puck gets stuck on the referee, and the positioning of the referee and the puck, it kind of boxes out NC State. Two really great opportunities for South Carolina. Scove right in the slot, just missed a little high, might have got a piece of the crossbar, but Sodden the other way, forces a face-off, gets fresh bodies.
Here's Robinson with the shot, doesn't get through. South Carolina brings it up into the neutral zone. Had some trouble crossing their own blue line, and now the stretch pass stolen away by Ricky Frosch. He can't connect, though, with Govea, and the Gamecocks back in possession. Just over 30 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey as Robinson bodies his man off the puck. Govea collects. He'll drop it off for an offensive partner there. Moving forward now, Govea. It was Keegan Gilmore who had pushed that one forward. Down to 12 seconds left of 4-on-4 hockey. Here's Hoover. Up the far side, cross ice pass, taken off the wall and carried in by Henderson. They'll leave it at the blue line. NC State able to clear. Both men back out of the penalty box, and we're back to full strength hockey. South Carolina clears it in. Riggins swats at it, knocks it across the other way as a Gamecock takes the spill. South Carolina, another chance here as the puck squirts loose in the slot. Riggins with the shot. I'm not sure if Toyer got a piece of it or if it was a sprawling Oliver, but it stays out. Pressure here for South Carolina. Kick save made by Toyer. It'll be worked back up to the blue line for Marvin. Down the wall, Riggins. His pass knocked away. Oliver looking to clear. He's able to find Finch, who's knocked down. Help from Oliver. They still can't get it out. Marcella down the wall for Marvin. Looking cross ice. No options there. Now around to Riggins. He'll slap it back up top. Here's Marvin in the near circle, looking across for Riggins. That one's off the wall, taken by Loken. He'll look to the middle. Good pressure here from South Carolina. Centering pass knocked down by Oliver. He can't clear. Shot from Loken. That one's knocked down. Toyer sprawling. It's loose in the slot as the goaltender gets back in position. Marvin now with it. NC State still can't clear. Finally, it pops up and out of the zone. NC State, though, needs it to go the full length of the ice here to get this change. They'll send it all the way down. That was a great defensive effort by the Ice Pack to keep it a 1-goal lead. Along the near side now. Stepping up, Thronson knocks it loose. South Carolina's Loken able to get back to it, though, and looks like they come in offsides. And that'll get a stoppage. We'll get a look at that last sequence for South Carolina. Great opportunity here.
Yeah, just chaos in front of the net. Puck goes right to the top of the slot, big chance. Toyer out of position, just dives after it, gets a little friendly save by the post. It's still loose in front. That whole sequence kind of just starts, you know, when South Carolina is able to bring everybody in at one time. I've noticed, Chris, when they're organized bringing the puck in the offensive zone, that's how they're generating their best scoring chances of the night.
Herman will send it deep for NC State off that neutral zone draw. Retrieved by Willoughby Ray. Sent to the middle. Nobody in a white jersey can get a stick to it. Prasma looking for Herman. It's through his skates and into the corner. Now Willoughby Ray tracks it down. Looking for Herman. That pass knocked away. NC State still in control, though. Willoughby Ray up the wall for Sodden. Back down low. Here's Prasma stepping out in front. Shot didn't get through. They'll battle for it in the corner. Brooks Willoughby Ray. Cross ice, looking to the blue line, just out of the reach of Sodden. He fans on the clearance, and that's going to create a chance here. Interference coming up on NC State as the shot whistles high from Connor Berman. And off the ice goes Hayes, extra attacker as NC State touches up. And it'll be another power play for South Carolina. While it won't count as a power play goal, they did score one right after the power play they had earlier this period. It's an interference call on NC State's Tate Sodden.
Yeah, Tate Sodden, when it rains, it pours. Just fanned on the puck the first time, going to handle the pass. Then in the neutral zone, fanned on it, decided he's got to be physical with it. Referees deemed interference once he was physical. And again, another freshman picking up a penalty for NC State.
South Carolina wins the draw, but Austin Finch giving them some trouble over along the far wall. Gamecocks finally able to move it into an open area. Marvin down low to the goal line. Back up top for Riggins. He'll wrist one wide of the near post. South Carolina regroups again. Here's Pineda thrown towards the net. Doesn't get through traffic. Weglars is tied up trying to clear. He'll dive after it and knock it out of the zone. Weglars takes a big hit as he clears it deep. Hayes out of his net to play it. NC State putting some pressure on here on the PK. 40 seconds have elapsed on the power play. South Carolina looking to move it back into the offensive end. Had some good chances on that last man advantage. Riggins hands it off for Pushkar. Moved across now for Pineda. And it's stolen away by Govea. He'll clear it down the ice right on goal. That'll give NC State a chance to change a few bodies on the PK. Pushed back forward by South Carolina. Carson Scove chips and chases. He'll get to it below the goal line behind the net. Sweeps it around the wall, trying to connect with Pushkar. It hops his stick, but he'll get it back from Flaherty. Pinned up against the near wall. Pushkar chips it deep. Has some support there from Nick Kay. Thrown all the way around the boards. Not out, though. 35 seconds left on the man advantage. South Carolina moves it up top. Deflected on goal, and a big pad save made there as Enzo Finelli on the weak side just about deflected it in. NC State clears it back down. Need to survive one more push here from the Gamecocks to finish off this penalty kill. South Carolina quickly into the zone. Sent back behind the net, chased down by Clavin. He'll be bodied up as he sends it up the wall. Nick Kay in control again. Moved along now for Flaherty. He'll walk the line. Back to Kay. Looking things over, looking to set up the one-timer, but Clavin not quite set up for it. Power play is over as Sodden comes back onto the ice, and a shot deflected out of play. NC State survives the power play this time.
Yeah, they do, and that was a good-looking power play once again for South Carolina. And something I noticed, Chris, on that last power play, Riggins is pretty much playing at the point. They're trying just to have him set up. If he crashes to the face-off circle, he does, but they're looking to him right at the point. He's going to find an open spot in the slot, and that's how he's generating this great offense. We saw his goal earlier. He was at the point, found a spot in the slot, turned around and scored.
NC State off the draw, able to clear it out momentarily. And as South Carolina tries to re-enter the zone, it's tipped out of play, and the face-off will be on top of the NC State blue line here.
If you're NC State, you're on your heels right now. You've been on your heels pretty much the whole period. You know, nothing really generated on the shot total, just 3 this period to 8 for the Gamecocks. And something I noticed, especially on that last power play, South Carolina's turned up the physicality a lot. Excuse me. They're making big hits. They're not afraid to skate right into NC State players, throw a shoulder into them.
NC State moving forward. Reese Johnson tied up as he crosses the blue line. Loose puck down behind the goal line will be chipped along to the far side. Sodden pinching in the corner. Holds it up, and NC State will gain control. Johnson throws it down low. Robinson there to fight for it for NC State. Some support there from Gifford, but South Carolina comes away with it. They'll chip it out of the zone. Now Sodden quickly reverses it back the other way. Robinson overlaps with Gifford. I think Gifford thought he was going to take it. Turns into a bit of a broken play, and it's out for a neutral zone faceoff.
Seems like there may be a little bit of communication issues as well for NC State. I think we haven't really seen a lot this period is we haven't really seen the first or second line for NC State making an impact like they did the first period. First line being Prasma, Herman, Willoughby Ray. Second line, Johnson, Kaufman, Shook. Haven't really said their names a lot this period.
NC State sends it deep, pops up behind the net. A little bit of a misplay there from Hayes. NC State trying to take advantage. Prasma in on the forecheck. Gets chipped past him and out to the neutral zone. Willoughby Ray there for NC State. Finds Sodden. Move to the near wall for Herman. Spins off of a hit and smacks it deep. First one to it is George Clavin of South Carolina. Sends it around the wall to the far side. Open up the middle, though, as Thomas Loken had some trouble with that stretch pass. NC State takes it away. They've got numbers if they go quickly. Willoughby Ray with Prasma, dragging, spinning to the middle, finds Prasma. Oh, and a sprawling save made by Hayes, but the third try goes. It was a persistent Prasma, and now they're going at it in front of the net. Prasma's got to be careful there. It's gotten emotional, but he was right there, and it looked like he kind of got in the face of a South Carolina player after he scored, and that's what kind of started it.
It's all with Willoughby Ray, the little spinorama pass to Prasma. Good 3 big saves from Zach Hayes, and after the play, yeah, Prasma just kind of got a little push there, I think, from Riggins. They're going to send Prasma to the box and no one on South Carolina. It's going to be a power play for the Gamecocks here. I would expect someone from South Carolina to get sent to the box. That's not the case, but emotions played high. The freshmen get the goal. Willoughby Ray and Prasma, but once again, the freshmen to the box. Again, I don't understand if South Carolina's going to get one or not. It might be the retaliation, though, from Prasma.
Well, that one, we talk about it a lot. The guy who retaliates a lot of times gets the call. This, I think, might be a case where you could see it, and based on where we are, we're a good ways away from that Gamecock net here in the second period. You could see it immediately. I think it was a little too evident that Prasma was doing kind of a little bit of taunting there. And so I don't know whether it's unsportsmanlike conduct or what exactly the call they went with is. It's a 2-minute minor, though, and it is another power play for South Carolina. Good chance in front, but it hops the stick of Nick Kay. South Carolina is getting their power play into a rhythm here. It helps when you get a lot of chances, and NC State has given that to them so far here in the second.
Yeah, Riggins not out there right now for South Carolina, so they're going to rely on him later on in this power play.
Quick shot from the high slot off the stick of Oliver and wide. South Carolina maintains the pressure, though. 40 seconds gone on the man advantage. Here's Flaherty. Moved along now for Clavin. Down low, quickly in front. Toyer seals off the bottom of the net again and makes the save. And some more extracurriculars around the net.
Well, I said the physicality's turned up in this game, and the emotions have apparently as well. A lot of extracurriculars after the play. South Carolina gets PP #1 out there right now. NC State's going to bring out a new penalty crew as well, a minute 11, and this benefits South Carolina. The long change for the defense for NC State. They get a break here that there's a stoppage in play, but a minute 11, something NC State loves to do on the penalty kill. If they have an opportunity to get 1 or 2 guys off the ice, they will.
South Carolina controls the draw. Here's Marvin. He'll get it back at the top of the umbrella. Looking it over. Back to the far side again. Slid down low by Riggins. Pass back to the middle, though. Intercepted and cleared by NC State. With under a minute left on the man advantage. 6:45 left in the period.
They try to give and go there with Prasma. NC State played it excellently.
With speed, Pushkar. Around Weglars, back to the puck he dumped in. Sends it up the wall for Riggins. He'll cycle it back below the goal line. In that far corner, work back up to Riggins. He'll move it to Tommy Marvin. One-timer coming. It's off the skate of Weglars and out of play. They've been trying to set up Marco Pineda. They did that in the first period, and they're doing it again here.
Yeah, and they've also got Riggins out there. That's who the give and go was intended for. And I think if you're South Carolina, it's a formula that's working. Riggins right now, he's the lone guy by the Lenovo ad, sitting way far away. They're trying to get one-timers for him and then work it back to Pineda on the other side.
Here's Marvin walking along the blue line. Hands it off for Riggins. They'll swap places. Riggins over to Pineda. Cross ice there for Marvin. They'll weave again. Down into the corner this time. Off-angle shot, just missed. South Carolina still in control, though. Pineda down into the near corner. He'll get it back. Cycled around again into the corner. He's looking to open something up. Riggins trying to step into one. Passes it down low, directed on goal. And again, Toyer makes the save. NC State trying to clear. Forced back behind their own goal. Govea to it. He'll send it up and out. NC State able to alleviate the pressure for now. We're back to 5-on-5 hockey with a little over 5.5 minutes left in the second. 3-1 lead for NC State. They've killed off 5 penalties in this game as South Carolina now 0 for 5 on the man advantage. Shook, bodied up behind the net. Has some support there from Finch. Shook back in control. Beautiful pass up to the blue line for Sodden. Through traffic, his shot missed. Long rebound out to James. One-time slapper from the blue line doesn't get through. Now it's Shook in the far circle. Forced into the corner. Puck loose along the half wall now. South Carolina with numbers. They're not able to clear, though, as Shook is able to hold it up momentarily. Now it's James. He'll step in. Leaves it for Shook. Already won tonight for Nick Shook. Throws it towards the goal. Gets caught up in the traffic in front again. Here's Kaufman. Sliding it through the middle. NC State will control over on the far side. James sends it down low. Bouncing puck, though, hard to control. And South Carolina clears it out of play. We got a stoppage with 4:39 left in the second.
Noticing this on our cameras, picking up, noticing it with my own eyes. A lot of puddling right there on the ice. Saw a little bit of an awkward bounce in the NC State offensive end. And I think that's going to come into a big factor. You know, we're going to get a fresh sheet of ice going into the third period, but we're seeing a couple of puddles right in front of the South Carolina bench. There's one. That corner, we've seen a lot of hits. There's a couple puddles there, especially in the center, right in front of both benches where I'm seeing it. So a lot of bouncing pucks are going to be a little unpredictable to play with, and I think that might be a big reason why one team gets a huge momentum switch.
Well, I didn't see the hand up, but NC State's been called for another penalty. It's Lapani off for a minor. Didn't see the signal, so I'm not entirely sure what the call is, but this will be the 6th power play for South Carolina tonight and their 4th this period. See if they can capitalize and make this a one-goal game. Again, off the side of the net with that shot. NC State dodges a bullet there. Walking back along with it, Flaherty, who took that shot, back up at the blue line, fakes the shot, sends it down low, back to the top of that far circle, but it hops the stick of Scove, who will be pestered now by Herman. Herman ties him up. South Carolina wanted a hooking call, and they're going to get it. A little bit of a delayed call, but they will have a chance. Rebound try off the save by Toyer, and it's off the side of the net. NC State touches up. And it's going to be 5-on-3. NC State not happy. And, I mean, you look at the way this game has gone. South Carolina has been taking over. I think NC State might be looking at those penalty totals. That is the 7th penalty called on NC State. NC State, though, themselves have only had one power play.
Yeah, that's like we said at the top of the hour, Chris. Discipline, discipline, discipline. That's not the case right now for NC State, but Nick Kay had the net wide open and just missed it, pushed it on the board, on the side of the net. Huge opportunity for the Gamecocks, but it's 5-on-3, and Riggins is out there.
I've got over a minute, well over a minute of 5-on-3 time. Crucial chance here. Oh, that one's rocketed off the crossbar by Riggins. Beautiful one-timer there that missed by inches. He'll look for another chance. Wrist shot blocked. That one skitters out of the zone, and NC State will be able to kill some clock. 50 seconds left of 5-on-3. And they're missing a crucial penalty-killing piece in Herman, who went off on the hooking call. Now Pineda. Back over to Riggins. They'll hand it off for Marvin. South Carolina looking for that shooting lane. Riggins down low. Chance coming. Big pad save made by Toyer. Loose in the slot. A shot is blocked, and NC State clears it away again. Big save by Toyer, and now racing off the ice, or trying to, Emery Oliver, who blocked the shot after that. He'll have to stay out. Looks like he's a little shaken up as well. 15 seconds of 5-on-3 time left. Marvin down the far wall. Looking to tee up Riggins. He does, and he fires it off a teammate in front, and Henderson. And NC State continuing to kill. 5-on-3 is over now. Here's a chance from the far circle. Wrist shot sent high, as NC State has Austin Finch out there. They've got at least one fresh body out there now. 35 seconds left on the power play. Marvin down the wall. Pass blocked by Oliver. Can't clear, though, as NC State desperately needs a change. Finch gets to it. He sends it down, and the three guys who badly needed a change will now get off the ice. Sodden actually not able to get off, so still one tired body. 15 seconds of power play time. Curling, dragging through the legs. Scove can't get to the net. He'll retreat back up the blue line. Finds Pineda. Down the wall, Finelli circles behind, centering pass, off a body, bouncing around through the slot as the power play comes to a close. Excellent kill from NC State, but they're not quite out of the woods yet. Finch up for Govea. He can't clear. Now Sodden finds Herman, who just came out of the box. He's got some help there in Govea. Elevated to the middle. Chance, and a save made by Hayes. I think Govea got in just a little bit tight there. NC State, though, with a good chance. 1:30 left in the period. South Carolina going back to work. Teed it up from the blue line. Blocker save made by Toyer. NC State will look to carry it out. It's Prasma. Finds some space on the far side. Back to the middle. His pass caught up in skates. NC State's Weglars gets to it and sends it all the way around and behind the goal. He chipped up and out of play, so a stoppage here will give both teams a chance to catch their breath. It was a wild last couple of minutes, Nick. NC State kills off a minute and 14 of 5-on-3 and then kills off the remaining 46 seconds of 5-on-4 to keep that 2-goal lead.
South Carolina's creating so much chaos in front of the net, and Isaac Toyer is as cool as a cucumber in the crease right now. And how about the play? You know, Lapani comes out of the box. Austin Finch races back down. Freshest legs is the reason why that 5-on-3 ended and resulted in no goals.
South Carolina pushes it up the ice off the faceoff. Quick shot coming, getting a blocker to it. Toyer directs it to the near side. Shook in trying to clear. Clearing pass, deflected by Herman, right to Prasma. He's going to come in all alone, and he scores. 50 seconds left in the period, and NC State adds to their lead. Prasma with his second.
Well, this feels like the high point game all over again, Chris. NC State, no momentum, can't generate anything, too many penalties, and then a breakaway and a 5-hole for Prasma, and it's 4-1 Ice Pack. Beautifully done. And again, you know, all momentum of South Carolina. They can't put the puck in the back of the net. Give a lot of credit to the PK for the Pack. Isaac Toyer deserves a lot of it as well. Prasma nets home his second of the game, and the Pack are rolling on all cylinders, even though they don't have momentum.
They're not done yet. Here comes Johnson, and a big glove save made by Hayes. Reese Johnson, who's already picked up a couple of assists in this one, is looking for his first goal. It'll be an offensive zone face-off for the Ice Pack.
And, I mean, I've said it a lot today, you know, these freshmen picking up a lot of penalties, but they're also scoring a lot of goals. Only freshman that hasn't scored two of the goals have been scored by freshmen, although Prasman scored 2. But, I mean, Shook a sophomore, Govea the other one. So the young talent for NC State is filling up the stat sheet, good and bad.
4-1 NC State, 30 seconds left in the period. They're still working. Shook, turnaround shot, catches the boards behind the net. Another shot in front, loose around the goal, trying to force it home. Kaufman, and diving on top of it on the post is Hayes. And now Shook will be wrestled to the ice as South Carolina starting to get frustrated here, I think.
Yeah, and it's Mulcairn again. He's the one that kind of tackled back in the first period before. I think he might be the instigator here, and then Shook took a big exception to it. They're both going to go to the box, that's for sure. Take a look here on the replay. It's just extracurriculars after the play. It's in deep. I know you're trying to protect your goalie. Then right there, they both just say, all right, we're going to go at it. I'm protecting my goalie. You're getting too close to me.
I'll be honest with you. I'm not sure what Shook goes off for here. I can see taking both to try and settle things down, but he played to the whistle. He was going after the puck, and to me, it was very, very clearly Ronan Mulcairn who wrestled him to the ground.
I think they're just trying to take control of the game right now. I think that might be what it is. We've seen a lot of penalties, but not too sure about that one.
So I believe this will be 4-on-4 hockey here for NC State.
19 seconds, Prasma and Herman out there. It's a good goal-scoring unit.
So 4-on-4 for 2 minutes. That'll bleed into the next period. Prasma with the shot directed wide. Down to 10 seconds left. Prasma takes a hit as he dumps it deep. South Carolina will retreat behind their own net. And I think they're going to run out the rest of the clock as somebody wants to get into it for South Carolina over in the corner. And if you're Prasma, you got to walk away.
He's got to stop.
All Hoover wants to do is create problems. You got a 4-1 lead. You've taken control even after 5 power plays killed off in the period. You got to let South Carolina be frustrated and walk away from it.
Yeah, Willoughby Ray's pointing at the scoreboard right now. The bench is emptying for NC State. Riggins involved. They're still talking about it. Herman trying to get everybody back. It's getting ugly here.
Well, both teams will head to their locker rooms now. We'll have a minute 42 of 4-on-4 hockey to start the third. After 40 minutes, NC State with the 4-1 advantage.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
NC State extends their lead. It's 4-1 after 2 periods. Chris Lehman and Nick Perazzi here with you, and it was an eventful period. NC State picks up a couple of more goals. First thing I want to talk about, though, it was one thing we hit on a lot in the intermission, discipline. NC State ends up having to kill off 5 power plays, including a minute and 14 of 5-on-3. A lot of credit to the penalty kill. They have killed off a total of 7 penalties so far tonight, but I think they want to be done working for the night.
They do, and this all starts earlier this period. South Carolina turned up the intensity, and they turned up the pressure, as well as throwing the shoulder, a lot of big hip checks. We've seen a lot of crazy big hits that South Carolina's delivered. It gets underneath your skin. NC State goes and retaliates, but it feels like a rivalry game out there, Chris. And, I mean, these teams, to my knowledge, have not played before. And it just feels like this is against UNC right now for NC State. I mean, the emotions are high, the physicality is high, and there's a lot of jarring. There's a lot of jarring I haven't seen when NC State does play UNC. So the emotions are just running high, and they're running the show right now, I think.
Well, and one of the NC State players who's kind of been in the middle of all of it has picked up a couple of penalties, also picked up a couple of goals.
Yeah.
That's Daniel Prasma. He's been a heck of a player for this NC State team. Named Player of the Week last week, had a couple of really nice goals against Rowan, and he picks up a couple of more here tonight. A little bit grittier, but he picks up a couple of more.
Yeah, and that last goal he got, which we had some really great Kramer work covering that goal, but it kind of just felt like the high point game. South Carolina, momentum, chance after chance after chance in front of the net. Give credit to Isaac Toyer. He's just been phenomenal tonight. And then a little breakaway to Daniel Prasma, and you're just able to kind of hit it home one-on-one. A guy with that kind of stick skill, it's kind of hard to stop if you're in net. And because of that, it's 4-1. All momentum for South Carolina. Feels like it was for nothing. And that's when the chippiness started. Prasma's taking 2 penalties, I believe. We saw the emotions run high again at the end of the period. It's going to be an interesting third period, and I think these referees are trying to get things under control.
Yeah, it will certainly be interesting to see how things start out in the third period. We'll have at least 4-on-4 hockey. Not sure if anything will come of what happened at the end of the period, but we'll have to wait and see. We'll be back with more here at the second intermission.
Life is for learning, and that doesn't stop with graduation. A great university goes far beyond campus. It allows you to see the big picture. A great university gives you tools, community, partnership, a launch pad. You don't just go to NC State University. You take us with you. NC State. Think and do.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour, and guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Nick Perazzi back here in Invisalign Arena with goaltending coach Alex Rossetto. Alex, that was a period. I told you that right before we went on air. That was
Certainly
one of
was
the
a
periods.
period. Certainly was a period. Yeah.
What's kind of the emotion? Me and Chris have been talking about the emotions are running high on both sides right now. What kind of started it, and how was it feeling in the locker room?
Yeah, I think that's one of the things we have to start to learn how to do is just play with a little bit more discipline, right? We kind of go out there and control our emotions, use them for a positive thing, right? Instead of what's happening out there now with, a little bit of negativity, which is really putting us on the kill, right? And that's not where we want to be. When we're the 5-on-5, we're the better team. So we want to stay even and hopefully stay out of the box this next period.
Yeah, and we talked to head coach Tim Healy last night at practice. He said this team's really hard to stop 5-on-5. It's when we take penalties is when we start to show our weaknesses. But 0 for 7 on power plays to South Carolina, and Isaac Toyer is looking like a beast in net right now.
Yeah, he's fantastic. I mean, he is really holding us in. I mean, they've had numerous opportunities where Isaac has just come up big for us, right? But we can't keep doing that. We can't keep going back to the goalie, right? That's not a winning action plan there. So, like I said, we got to stay out of that box, not rely on Isaac. But, I'm really happy with the way he's played. He's just been fantastic with his puck fight and rebound control. Can't ask for anything more out of him.
And there's been a lot of chaos in front of them. And I said on the broadcast, he's as cool as a cucumber in there right now. He's just rock solid. Going into this third period, though, you mentioned the discipline. You mentioned you can't rely on Toyer that much. What is kind of the message to the team right now going into that third period with a 3-goal lead? Yeah,
like I said, it's got to be channel the emotion. You hit it right on the head, right? That's the message we're going with. When we get the puck behind them, we get it, behind their defense, we get shots on net, high-quality shots, and obviously it's paying off. But we got to put ourselves into that position, right? So stay out of the box, 5-on-5, and let's just, get out of here.
Well, you said it best, discipline. Try to get out of here. That's the message going forward for the Ice Pack into the third period. When we come back, me and Chris are going to discuss what each team needs to fix on going into the final period.
We talk forever about the future, worry about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Closing in on the third period here at Invisalign Arena. It's a 4-1 lead for the Ice Pack over the South Carolina Gamecocks. Chris Lehman back with Nick Perazzi here at the second intermission. And Nick, you obviously talked a good amount with Coach Rossetto, the goalie coach, about the goaltender for NC State, who has done a great job. Talk about goaltender a lot of times has to be your best penalty killer. There were a lot of instances where that was the case in that second period. If you're NC State going into this third period, though, as Coach Rossetto mentioned, you can't rely on those big saves.
No, you can't. And a reason why you can't, 0 for 7 on the power play, South Carolina, 7 for 7 kills is pretty good. but you can't rely on him too much, especially in a game with this many emotions running high. The amount of penalties NC State has taken that have been preventable penalties, and have kind of just been emotionally driven penalties. You can't rely on that for too long. Toyer's playing out of his mind right now, but that pressure from South Carolina, if you keep giving them power plays, they're bound to find the back of the net. I don't think they're going to copy the Hurricanes this past postseason in terms of not getting the puck in the net, but you just can't rely on goaltending for that long. He's only allowed one so far. He's looked amazing tonight, and I think without him, this could be easily a tie game or Carolina's got the lead, but going into this third period, you've got to limit the penalties, and you've just got to help out your goaltender.
Yeah, I think people probably tired of hearing it by now, but it really is the big focus, I think, for NC State, staying out of the box.
It's the story of the game.
Keeping it full strength. Exactly. And I think as you look at South Carolina's side, they want to try and continue to kind of needle NC State, get under their skin, because while they haven't scored yet, you got to think as well as their power play has been playing this last period, they'll get one if they get another couple of chances.
Yeah, they will, and that's kind of what goes back to what I'm saying. You can't rely on them too long or else they are going to get one, and we've seen the chippiness. Right now on the scoreboard, a minute 42, a 4-on-4, no other penalties added on, but if you're NC State, you're getting a little jarring, you're kind of taunting a little bit up 4-1. South Carolina's bringing the physicality, and they have the ability with Riggins, with Scove, and with a couple other guys in that power play to get back in this game and make this a competitive hockey game.
Yeah, well, we are just about ready for the third period. Should be an interesting 20 minutes. We'll be back with the puck drop after this.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
It's hard to always know what's going on with your kids. The Talk They Hear You mobile app and Screen for Success tool can help. The mobile app shows you how to turn everyday situations into opportunities to talk with your kids about alcohol and other drugs. Screen for Success helps you find out if your child needs more support by asking about their health, wellness, and well-being. Keep your kids safe and healthy. Download the free Talk They Hear You mobile app and start using Screen for Success today.
Back here in Invisalign Arena, we're ready to start the third period with a 4-1 hockey game between the Ice Pack and the Gamecocks. Nick Perazzi here with Chris Lehrman. And Chris, coming back from break, we were talking about how these two teams get to meet again in November, and they get to play outside in Charlotte. And with the emotions running this high, it's still a period to play, but there's going to be a lot of lore going into that game.
Yeah, definitely will make for an interesting extra dynamic to that game. I think, though, if you're one of the players or the coaching staff down on the ice level right now, your focus is on this one. There's still time for South Carolina. You look at it, they outshot NC State that last period 12-9. 5 power play chances. Obviously didn't score on any of them, but plenty of chances. And I think if you're the Gamecocks, you're thinking eventually one of those is going to break through if we can continue to draw the penalties. And so it'll be up to NC State here. I think if they stay disciplined, stay out of the box, they should be able to take this one home. 4-on-4 hockey for minute 42 as NC State's Joey Govea wins the opening draw of the period. NC State, though, stalls out at their own blue line. Chance here for Riggins stepping in. Backhander scores right out of the gate. 11 seconds into the third. He's got his second, and it's 4-2.
Well, in terms of completing a comeback for South Carolina, step one, complete. Get the first one. Show you're still in this. Bad turnover in the defensive end and a nasty backhander as Riggins picks up his second goal of the night, his 7th on the year now, and he's only played in his 6th game right now. He's just on a different planet right now, and if you're NC State, you come out flat those first 11 seconds. You're still up 2, but you've got to play a lot with a lot more intensity, a lot more heart. I know you're trying to keep those emotions in check, but you can't let this one slip away.
And that gives a lot of energy to South Carolina as they've now pulled within 2 and really still have the full period to work on the other 2. Gifford pinned up behind the goal, getting some support there from Kaufman. Forces his way in front, looking to hand it off, but that's stolen. Here's a 2-on-1. Oh, but the puck gets caught in a puddle. We talked about that last period. There are a few wet spots on the ice. That costs South Carolina an odd man rush as it's deflected out of play on the shot from Holden Kaufman. But yeah, if you're South Carolina, there's nothing you can do about it, but it's frustrating when you take a look at all the speed that Brendan Flaherty had there. It was going to be a 2-on-1. Get another look at it, and it happens sometimes. If there's a little bit of a wet spot, that puck can stick like Velcro. That's exactly what happened.
Yeah, the humidity here. When we walked into the hallway that we broadcast out of, I just left my suit and my papers here, and they got moist in about 20 minutes, so it's a humid one.
Shot from the point there by James, handled easily by the glove of Hayes. Another offensive zone draw for the Ice Pack. Still 45 seconds of 4-on-4 hockey. Not even a minute into this third period, South Carolina already pulling back 1 goal closer. Quick shot off the draw from Sodden is wide. Willoughby Ray sweeps it around the wall where James can collect up near the blue line. Turns away from pressure, trying to poke it down the wall, but it's stolen. Here go the Gamecocks again. Speed now for Marvin down that left wing. Looking to the middle for Riggins, who's already got 2. He'll be forced into the corner where Sodden takes it away. Riggins will put pressure on. Sent to James. Back to Sodden, and NC State has some time and space here. Willoughby Ray. The speed through the neutral zone. Cuts down that right wing. Stops in the corner, looking for reinforcements. He's got Lapani up top. Quick shot. Blocked there in front by Hayes. A juicy rebound. NC State can't get to it. And here come the Gamecocks. Shook right out of the box will disrupt that odd man rush as we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Puck. It was floating through the middle of the ice there. Dangerous chance for South Carolina. They couldn't get a stick on. Willoughby Ray hands it off for Prasma. He'll wrist it around the wall, but not out. It's held in there by Hoover. He'll force his way down the wall into the middle. Nick Kay can't direct it on goal. Now NC State turns it back the other way. Shook has speed weaving through the neutral zone. He'll tee one up, throws it right off the defenseman Marvin. NC State trying to control in the offensive zone. Swept back in there by Johnson. Off the wall, Shook into the middle for Prasma, and it slips underneath his stick. Good chance for the Ice Pack, and they come up empty. South Carolina pushing the pace here. Pushkar sends it deep, tracks it down in the near corner. Puck squirts loose up the wall. Quick shot coming. Toyer bodies it down, thrown back out in front, and Toyer's on top of it. It'll be an offensive zone draw now for the Gamecocks.
Big sequence there. That last rush for NC State, I thought Shook had Prasma. He wasn't going to be able to find a pass, but the speed from Prasma to catch up, and then the chaos behind, nearly off the back of Toyer and in. Would have cut the lead in half. Down the 1 for NC State, but big face-off won by the Gamecocks.
Shot off the draw, doesn't get through. NC State picks up the loose puck. It's Daniel. Has a man with him there in Finch, trying to find him in the middle. They can't connect, and now it's out of play. Cleared up into the netting. Face-off will be on the near side of the South Carolina goal. Ice Pack with Oliver, Daniel, and Finch out there as the forward line. The defensive pairing, Weglers and Thronson. Oliver on the face-off for NC State. Unable to win it there against Carson Scove. Now the Gamecocks looking to break it out. Stalled out there by Daniel, but a bouncing puck hops out of the zone. Chance here for South Carolina in transition. Shot steered away by the blocker of Toyer. NC State, though, fails to clear. Down in that far corner, Wegler's first to it. Looking for some help up the near side. He finds Thronson. Forced backwards, though, and NC State will restart the breakout. 16:40 left in this third period. NC State was up 4-1 to start the period, but 11 seconds in at 4-on-4, it was Riggins who opened up the scoring for this third and final period. So a 4-2 lead at the moment. South Carolina, chance to move forward with NC State making a change. They don't like what they see, though, and they'll regroup. On that far side, backhand pass there from Scove all the way across will be chipped along by Clavin. Into the middle, quick one-timer. Not sure if Toyer got a piece or not, but that was a great chance for Pineda. South Carolina, really since partway through that second period, has controlled play. Puck stolen away, and a save made there by Toyer. Wouldn't have mattered anyhow, as Zavario Marcella didn't have a stick there. And so he didn't really have much of an opportunity. You get another look at it here, got a stick tangled up. He could have kicked it in, but that would have immediately been whistled off.
That's a big break for NC State, though. I mean, there was no one back full speed ahead. Marcelo just didn't have the stick, just got it knocked out beforehand.
Here's Gifford for NC State. Steps around one man, loses his footing, though, as he's knocked down. NC State still in control. Robinson leaves it for Sodden. Tried to play it along for Govea, but South Carolina takes control. Bouncing puck held in nicely by Govea, who reaches for it at the blue line. Robinson now down in the corner. He'll be pinned to the wall by Riccitelli. Outletted for Gifford. He'll look to Govea. Had trouble handling that pass. Bouncing puck swatted towards the goal, though, by Lapani. NC State maintains the pressure in the offensive zone. Pinned to the far wall was Gifford. He loses the puck, and the Gamecocks cleared into neutral ice. Robinson, though, there to steal it back. They'll fight for it along the red line. South Carolina eventually able to advance with it. Riccitelli. Weak shot trickles in on Toyer, who steers it to the far corner. Now NC State can look to break out. Right in front of that ice pack bench, South Carolina takes it back, forcing his way in. Scove wrapping it around, tried to stuff it on that far post, couldn't get it to go. NC State can't clear, though. Now it's Mulcairn. Tees one up, that one hit somebody on the way in, and it's out of play. We had a face-off in the ice pack zone.
We're almost 6 minutes into the period, Chris, and the emotions have calmed down on both sides. Both coaches made it an emphasis to get control of this game, get control of your emotions, and play some hockey. And that's exactly what's going on right now. We're not seeing extracurriculars. We're not seeing big, dirty hits. We're not seeing a lot of penalties either. Both teams playing very cleanly right now.
And you do wonder a little bit how much that early goal from Riggins changes that, because it puts South Carolina right back in this hockey game. NC State, though, trying to answer it. Prasma already has two. Well played defensively by the Gamecocks. That was number 3, Brendan Flaherty. Said his name plenty on the offensive end as well, but he made a great play on one of the best offensive players on this NC State team. We got an icing call as that one just got to the goal line. So the faceoff comes back to the South Carolina end.
You're NC State right now. South Carolina's doing a much better job defensively, just forcing you to the boards, forcing you to play it around. Nothing in the middle, not a lot of good shot opportunities. It kind of feels like the beginning of that second period, the end of the first period. They're starting to take control defensively. They got to get something go offensively, though. They haven't really had many opportunities since that last good chance a couple minutes ago.
NC State is being outshot 3-1 so far this period. Good chance. They couldn't get it to the goal. Ice pack, though, with plenty of pressure here. Willoughby Ray back to Prasma. Throws it towards the net. Off of Hayes and out in front. NC State can't get a stick to it, though. Still loose in the slot. Moved up the wall. Thronson holds it in on the near side. Down deep for Herman. Looking back for Prasma. It deflects out in front. South Carolina able to clear it out of danger. Now Flaherty moving up that right wing. Trying to step around his man and does. Doesn't take the puck with him, though. He'll get it back behind the net. Worked up to the far side, out to the blue line, poked away by Shook. He's got a chance here if he can get to it. Shook sweeping in, takes the shot, and it's fought off there by Hayes. Shook still in control, circling at the blue line. Another wrist shot hits a man on the way in, and South Carolina clears it back out past the red line. James trying to keep the pressure on, finds Herman in neutral ice. He'll send it deep and go off for a change, as NC State trying to stop up the South Carolina breakout. Rink wide pass to the near side, finds Hoover. His pass into the neutral zone, though, stolen away. Here's Reese Johnson for the Ice Pack. Slips a pass through to Kaufman. He has it knocked off his stick. Johnson there in support. And Johnson thought he had Sodden up the near wall, and they weren't on the same page. So all the way down, NC State restarts behind their own goal with the 4-2 lead. Sodden pestered there, able to move out of that pressure, still in control. Here's Tate Sodden, throws it at the net. Juicy rebound just past the stick of Johnson. And South Carolina clears it back out. Swept back around by James. Sodden forces it into the offensive zone. There in support, Johnson gets tied up. And now the Gamecocks push it back the other way. Connor Berman past Sodden and into the near corner. He'll be stopped up there by Kaufman, who has some help taking the puck away. But again, NC State struggling to clear the zone here. 8 minutes gone in this third period. South Carolina with an early goal, keeping themselves within striking distance right now. Cleared up and out by Kaufman. This one's going to be icing. NC State going to have to keep those tired bodies on the ice here. And a chance here for South Carolina maybe to take advantage of that.
Now, you mentioned those tired bodies. We had about 3 minutes of play without stoppage. That poke check Nick Shook had, that breakaway opportunity, the hustle by Nick Kay for the Gamecocks is the reason why Shook didn't have a chance to go back to the backhand and try to stuff it past Hayes. That was a really good defensive play, and we'll get another face-off real quick, and that'll actually allow NC State to clear and get everybody off. So that's a massive break for NC State. Mentioned it, there was a lot of play, no stoppage. Those bodies were tired, like you mentioned, Chris. NC State's going to get a couple new guys out there. Looks like their fourth line.
And the Riggins on the draw up against Emory Oliver of NC State. And this is the line before the season started that head coach Tim Healy said to me is kind of going to be their go-to shutdown line to try and stop up their opponent's best offensive lines. That's why they're out here against Riggins and company. And they'll clear it up and out. Oliver trying to chase this one down and negate the icing. Not going to be able to do so. And it'll come back down to the NC State zone.
Well, you say this is the fourth line's a shutdown line for NC State, and I agree with you, Chris. Left wing Scott Daniel, he's been very physical, a very physical forward. You also got Emory Oliver, a great defensive center, also wins a lot of faceoffs. And Austin Finch today, we saw him make a couple of big plays on the penalty kill. It's a very defensive line and a good-looking one for the Pack.
South Carolina controls off the offensive zone draw. Near side shot from Scove is off the side of the net. South Carolina first to the rebound, though. Pushed up the wall, slapped right back in and deflected up over the net and out of play. South Carolina continuing to carry things here. And they've been the team, it feels like, that's been kind of a little bit more in control of this game. Not for the entirety of the last 30 minutes, if you go back including the second period, but most of it. And certainly here in the third period.
Yeah, they've had a lot of puck time, but they also kind of going back to that first period, not a lot of high-quality scoring chances as of late. And it's just kind of getting to up and down the ice we go. South Carolina sets up offensively, but they can't get a good look.
They might get a good look here out in front, and they can't connect. NC State able to tie up that top goal scorer in Riggins. He's back in control. Hands it off, now down low. Worked back below the goal line. Turnaround shot from Scove, and it'll be held on to by Toyer, able to get the chest protector on.
If you're an Ice Pack fan, I'm sorry. If you're a South Carolina fan, you're welcome. The announcer jinx strikes almost there, but good quality shots being generated for South Carolina after that previous face-off. They're starting to get some momentum. They have a couple good looks. Trying to see who they got out there on the ice right now. They've got Josh Wilkins taking the face-off, so not the best forward line for South Carolina, but it's a line that can generate and keep time and possession in the O-zone.
Shot from the far point, high and wide. South Carolina keeps the zone again. A lot of O-zone time here for the Gamecocks. Back up to the blue line. Walking with it, Mulcairn. Back down the wall, into the middle. It bounces through the crease and over to the far side. Thrown right back out in front. Still loose around the crease area. South Carolina can't put it on goal. NC State doing just enough to avoid giving up another one. Gifford trying to fight his way into the offensive end. They're going to get a power play, though, are the Gamecocks. This is going to be a slashing penalty And I believe it's going to be on Willoughby Ray.
I think South Carolina just got away with too many men on the ice. Goalie wasn't off the ice yet, and they were touching the puck.
Herman touches up at center ice. And another penalty coming up to NC State. And it is going to be Gifford who goes off. But a pretty easy call, slashing. It'll be the 8th power play of the game for South Carolina, and dare I say the most important. You're now halfway through this third period. The momentum from that goal, to some extent has subsided, and it's a chance for the Gamecocks not only to pull within another one, but to kind of rejuvenate that comeback energy. Here's Riggins, top of the near circle, looking things over, finds Marvin up top. Moved over to Pineda. Back across for Riggins, up to Marvin one more time. Riggins looking to step into one, it's not there. Out in front, loose there, trying to stuff it home on the near post, it's not open. Now a chance and they score. Tawyer was sprawling around in the crease and he left the near post open. It's Jake Pushkar who makes it 4-3, 21 seconds into the power play.
Yeah, and you mentioned Isaac Tawyer sprawling around. Moment of truth. Watch right here. He's going to turn around towards the puck, back towards the center line. You don't want to do that as a goalie, and it allows for a pretty easy stuff for Jake Pushkar. And I was going to mention, Chris, before that power play, you're down 3 goals entering the third. You want your first goal in the first 10 minutes. They got that in 11 seconds. You want that second goal in between 5 to 10. They get that 21 seconds in. You want that third goal with 5 minutes or less left to tie the game up. Right now for South Carolina, comeback trail is looking strong.
They're going to go right back to work here. Carson Scove down that far left wing. Stopped up at the hash marks. NC State pushes it up and out. Breakout pass intended for Herman. He's tied up, but the loose puck collected by Prasma. Chip to the middle. He can't connect with Herman. NC State back in control, though. Prasma down in the corner. Getting some help there from Willoughby Ray. South Carolina able to find some open space on the far side. Prasma, though, back on the forecheck. Knocks it loose. Willoughby Ray trying to find Prasma. Unable to do so, but the clearance held in nicely by Alex James. Swept across to the near side. Prasma trying to find Herman. And it's tipped out of play by South Carolina at the defense. And they'll get a stoppage that I think they needed there. They were a little bit out of sorts.
Yeah, they were. And I think NC State also had that uh-oh energy. Only a 1-goal game now. They got to rejuvenate themselves. They got to play harder. Prasma, a big cause of that. 8 power plays in, you finally give up that first goal on the penalty kill. Now it's a 1-goal game. You get that, what I like to call, uh-oh energy.
South Carolina, after losing the draw, able to break it out. Quick shot coming right into the breadbasket of Isaac Tawyer, who swallows it up. Face off in the NC State end here, 8:44 to go.
Trying to see who's out there right now for South Carolina. They got that second line out there. Once again, it's going to be Josh Wilkins with the face-off win. They love to control zone time.
Quick shot there, and Tawyer with the save.
And they're going to control zone time. Surprised they went with the quick shot there. Wasn't a good-looking one, but if they can win the face-off, Wilkins has done that a lot tonight for South Carolina. They're going to play it around, trying to trap NC State in their own D end, and try to generate some offense.
South Carolina holds the zone off the face-off through traffic. Tawyer makes the glove save and swallows up the rebound. He does a nice job there through traffic. He's been very good tonight. You look at the goals he's given up. You can maybe say he wants that Riggins goal back at the beginning of the period, but it's a beautiful backhand, which is hard to read already for a goaltender. And then just a lot of chaos around the net on that power play that led to the goal. But he has made a lot of big saves as well. NC State could be trailing in this game if it weren't for their netminder tonight. Ice Pack fight for it and clear it, but only momentarily as it's flipped back in by South Carolina's Zach List. Around the wall, clearing attempt stopped up. NC State on the second attempt able to move it out. That was Austin Finch. But the Ice Pack not really able to control here. Breakout pass stolen now by Daniel. He'll sweep it back in. Hayes behind the net will set it on a tee, picked up by List. Sends it around the near wall. Puck pops loose to the middle. Govea steals it away. He gets tied up. Turnaround pass to Finch in front. Poke check from Hayes. Rebound loose. Still there on the side of the net, and Finch can't get the shot away. Now Frosch deflected through traffic, and Hayes makes the save.
Couple of good chances there for NC State, possibly the best chances that they've had here in this third period.
I was going to say, Chris, that's the best opportunity they've had in a long time. A lot of good open looks. Really like trying to get Daniel a little tip-in goal as well, but here come the Gamecocks once again.
Robinson there for NC State, trying to shovel it around the wall. Gets some help in the near corner as they battle for it. You see up close, Riggins there for South Carolina with some support as well from Henderson. NC State, though, wins the battle in the corner. Robinson carries it out before losing it around the red line. Picked up by Carson Scove. He's dispossessed. It's the captain, Zach Herman, through the neutral zone. Hands it off for Robinson. Elevated back to the middle. Deflected on goal by Herman. First shot stopped. Second try doesn't go either. And it's still loose over in that far circle. Caught up in skates. South Carolina able to find it first. They'll carry it out into the neutral zone. It's Riggins who shovels it into the offensive end. James, first one there for NC State. Under some pressure, he's able to lift it off the glass and down. No icing here, so NC State can get a change. Up that far wall, banked along by Dunphy. NC State collects, D to D for Sodden. Up to Herman, deflects it into the offensive zone, but it'll be Clavin who plays it. Played it with a high stick. This is not a penalty, but just a stoppage of play for the puck being played with a high stick. And so NC State with the ozone face-off.
Good opportunity earlier. That was Herman trying to flash in real close. Good save there by the Gamecocks defense, really. Zach Hayes never really saw it. But it's a lot of ice time right now for Riggins. I don't know if he came out or not. It doesn't look like he did. He's still out there. He's been out there a long time, and he gets a face-off win. It's been about a 2-minute shift for Riggins.
Well, NC State with the top line out there. Prasma, Herman, Willoughby Ray. On the defense, it's Weglers and Thronson. A little over 6 minutes to go. Starting to close in on that time where we'll be keeping an eye on the South Carolina net monitor if they can't even it up here in the next probably about 4 or so minutes of play. They've got the pressure down low. Pass intended behind the net for Riggins off the mark. NC State unable to push it into neutral ice, though. First one to it is Berman for South Carolina up to the blue line. That shot hits the traffic on the way in. South Carolina first to the rebound, though, trying to force their way in front. NC State denies that. Prasma collects the loose puck. He'll hand it off for Willoughby Ray, who lugs it into the offensive zone and shrugs off a check. Brooks Willoughby Ray looking back for Lapani. That pass denied, so he'll pin it to the wall and look for some help. Prasma was there. South Carolina wins the battle, but the clearance goes off of a teammate. Willoughby Ray dragging his way in, takes the shot. There's a blocker save made by Hayes. Prasma tries to swat it in front of the net, but can't do so. Second effort is deflected back to the blue line for Frosch. Across to Lapani. His shot fought off by the blocker of Hayes. Good pressure here from NC State. But finally, South Carolina able to send it up and out. It goes underneath of an NC State glove, so no icing here. Didn't get there anyhow. Pass up the far wall to Kaufman. He finds Shook in the neutral zone. He'll skate it cross ice, trying to step around the defender. Can't take the puck with him, and it's stolen away by Scove, who's upended, and another power play for the Gamecocks.
Yeah, got tripped from behind. That's going to be number 5, Ricky Frosch for the Ice Pack, the 9th power play for the Gamecocks. And I was going to say, you know, really good looking forecheck. NC State being aggressive. Willoughby Ray, Prasma, they're being just phenomenal on that forecheck. Teams of NC State past would have loved to see that. But an 8th penalty with 4:39 to go. This is where things get testy and interesting, and a face-off win for the Gamecocks.
Their power play has looked really good as this game has worn on. Pineda, top of the far circle, looking it over, takes the shot, deflected wide. South Carolina first to it, though. NC State playing that tight diamond, protecting the house, so to speak. Riggins looking to step into one, fakes it, slap pass, centered now, as that was Pushkar who picked up the last goal. Riggins sends it just wide of the near post. Pushkar along the side of the goal, sends it up the wall. Riggins there to help out. He'll quarterback. Up top for Marvin. Fakes the shot. Over to Pineda. Rebounds there, and it's deflected wide. Good chance there for Pushkar. And now NC State able to clear. They'll get fresh bodies out to kill the penalty. 1:10 to go
on the man advantage, under 4 minutes left in this game. Cross-ice pass taken off the wall. That's Riggins holding up there. Switches places with Marvin to hold on to the puck. Riggins tees it up. Slap pass, though, over to Marvin. Back up top for Riggins. Slid down low. Out in front, and this time Herman steals it. He'll chip it out. Maybe a chance here for NC State's Willoughby Ray, but he makes the heady play, sends it backwards, kills some more time, and now NC State sends it the length of the ice.
Shaking my head there. Marco Pineda has been winding it up all night. Riggins gave him a beautiful pass. He's got to shoot it. Instead, he tries to force a pass across the slot, and it's a turnover. They're going to have to regroup. Final 30 seconds of the power play.
They've still got the offensive zone here. Near side now, Skov. Into the middle, deflected, and it looks like it hit Toyer. He knocked it away to the corner. Good chance there for South Carolina. Down to 15 seconds left on the man advantage. And NC State will clear it out. That should do it for the power play. That will make the Gamecocks 1-for-9. And they're down to 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Trying to tie this one up. Scored 2 unanswered here in the third. Looking for another. Skov in down the right wing. Looking to the middle. That pass denied. Wegler sends it up the wall. It hops the stick there of Flaherty and gets out. A little bit of a break for the Ice Pack. And we'll start keeping an eye on the South Carolina net. I gotta think that Hayes will be heading to the bench here in the next 30 seconds or so at most. Behind the NC State net, Thronson. Moved along for James. Now he'll give it back. Pardon me, that is Tate Sodden who tries to clear but can't. Hayes still in the net right now. On the near side, Flaherty settles down a bouncing puck. He'll ring it around the wall, over to the far side. It's chased down by Clavin. Wrist shot coming. Sticked away there by Toyer. 1:50 to go. Hayes still in the net. I'm a little bit confused as to why with as much zone time as South Carolina has right now. Loose in the slot. Prasma. Outlets trying to connect with Willoughby Ray, but it's a little bit strong. Hayes out of the net to play it. He'll push it up the far side. Directed along for Finelli. His shot blocked by James. Swatted around by the NC State defenseman. NC State, though, unable to clear it out. Hayes still in his net with 1:23 to go. South Carolina has had all kinds of zone time, and they have not elected to pull the goaltender. Cleared out again by the Ice Pack. 1:15 to go now. Blue line to blue line pass now. Curling, dragging in there, losing a footing is Marvin. And NC State will clear it back into neutral ice. Good hustle by Daniel. He'll chip it down deep and chase it into the far corner for NC State. Start killing some clock with under a minute to go. Knocked off his stick. Good back check, though, by Daniel. Finch holds the zone at the blue line and sends it deep. 50 seconds to go here. Gamecocks desperately need to get up the ice and get Hayes to the bench. Cleared in now by Riccitelli. Hayes looking to the bench. He's like, when do you want me to go? And they're not calling for him.
They got to bring him out. He's been looking the past minute as it goes all the way down. This will be icing. He's got to come out now.
I think he will now. This is, they've done a great job of coming back here of South Carolina, but poorly mismanaged last 2.5 minutes. Of the last 2 minutes of play, going back to 2.5 minutes left in the game, they probably have spent 75 to 90 seconds in the NC State zone with possession. And so I don't really understand why Hayes was in the net for that long. They could have had the extra body. Now they will call a timeout and talk things over.
Well, I've been looking at Hayes ever since the 2.5 minute mark. Wasn't looking. Only started looking with 1.5 minutes. Would raise his glove. Wouldn't. Puck in deep. Doesn't really look. He's just standing there at the top of the crease. Then with about 45 seconds when he started raising his stick, he said, all right, can I come out now? And that's when he threw his hands up. It's a 1-goal game. I know you got a lot of zone time, but if you get that 6th attacker out there, you're going to generate more zone time. You're going to give Riggins an extra opportunity to get a one-timer. It might get a little more cluttered, but you want that extra attacker out there because it gives you an extra chance, an extra stick, and it gives you a man advantage. And you just wasted like you said, Chris, you wasted about 90 seconds of a chance to have 6-on-5 with NC State barely getting the puck out during that time. Have a chance to tie this game up. 30.7 to go. It will be 6-on-5. Hayes out of the net. You got Riggins all the way at the top of the slot. This is what you come here for as the crowd gets rowdy.
Herman out there along with Willoughby Ray and Prasma as the forward line. Thronson and James, out there defensively. Forced right in on goal. Rebound loose in the slot, sprawling around, and Toyer able to find it and make the save. But South Carolina, that was a good game plan. Get it to the net and just make it chaotic. Here's another look. This should be a good angle.
Yeah, camera's placed perfectly right on the line. It's loose right there, hits Toyer's skate, and he's able to corral it. That's a big save, 25 seconds to goal.
Well, South Carolina has controlled the face-off dot for most of this game, and we're going to wait a little bit longer as NC State now will call their timeout. 25.7 on the clock. NC State led 4-1 coming into this period. It was John Riggins picking up his second of the night and seventh of the season, 11 seconds in, to make it a 4-2 game. And then almost exactly 10 minutes later, it was a stuffed chance on the near post for Jake Pushkar to pick up the first power play goal for South Carolina tonight that made it 4-3. But you get a look there at Isaac Toyer. Big reason NC State still leads right now. He's made some big saves. You talked about early on in the game his composure with traffic in front was evident on that last play as well. He did a nice job. One thing he's done a great job of, particularly tonight, is sealing off the bottom of the net and then finding the puck in those situations. The only time he wasn't able to do that was that power play goal, but other than that, he has not given anything down low to South Carolina, who controls off the draw. Over to the far blue line. Marvin throws it towards the net. Loose in front. NC State gets the rebound. They can't clear. Riggins back across to Marvin. Again to Riggins. He looks to step into one. Hits somebody on the way through, and it deflects out of play. 10.8 seconds to go. And another offensive zone draw for the Gamecocks.
Best chance opportunity here for South Carolina. That puck goes out of play. Couldn't clear. Right to Riggins. He gives it up to Marvin. Right back to Riggins. They're going to try that once again.
Well, they'll win the draw. Bounces over the stick of Pushkar and out into neutral ice. South Carolina maybe one last chance. Marvin with the shot. Blockered away by Toyer, and that will finish off this hockey game. NC State survives the third period as they give up a pair of goals, but finish things off with that 4-3 win.
It was not a pretty win tonight, Chris. It was 4-1 into the third. You give up two. You give up a lot of opportunities down the stretch to South Carolina, and I think, we talked about emotions in the second period, penalties all game long. I think, though, the big reason why NC State's going to come out with a victory tonight is because South Carolina just didn't pull Hayes fast enough. They had all momentum, had 2 goals in the period, 2.5 to go, having the puck for pretty much all but 20 seconds during that time, and you don't pull them out to the final 30 seconds. That's something that's going to be hard to sleep with if you're a Gamecock fan.
Well, it was a heck of a game here this evening. NC State coming away with a 4-3 win as they've now won their first 5 contests here in the 2024-25 season. We'll be back with post-game after this. 4-3 winners, NC State over South Carolina.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Hey there, doing some yard work? Installing a new fence, flowers, or shrubs? Stop! Don't dig just yet! You have buried gas, electric, and even internet lines down there. Before you pick up a shovel, pick up a phone or go online and contact 811. 811 is a free service. Yes, free! 811 is the first step to having those buried utilities marked. 811 keeps you safe, protects the lines, and it's the law. This safety message brought to you by North Carolina 811.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad-spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad-spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Well, it was an entertaining one here at Invisalign Arena tonight. NC State coming away with a 4-3 victory over the South Carolina Gamecocks. Chris Lehman, Nick Perazzi with you here post-game. And Nick, NC State gets it done, but as we talked about, not the prettiest of wins for them.
No, it wasn't. And I think this is one of those wins. You got the win, but you're frustrated. You're not happy. You know, they're obviously going to be happy, but when they get into the locker room, I think it's going to be a different story. You get a win over a pretty good team, but it's the way it happened. Up 4-1 going into the third period. Amount of penalties taken. A lot of things that could have been cleaned up for NC State. It's a learning victory. Some of these games could turn into losses, but when you're a good team, these wins, those losses become close wins, and they become massive learning moments in a season.
Absolutely, and plenty to clean up, certainly, for NC State. A couple things to highlight, though, as well. Isaac Toyer, especially in the second period, made some big saves to keep NC State in front at that point. Was able to come up with some saves late in the game as well. Stops 23 of 26 shots tonight. And the other thing, the penalty kill. A lot of that has to do with the way Isaac Toyer played, but it also has to do with the guys that are standing out there in front of him, whether it was 4 of them or 3 of them, as we saw for a while in that second period. So the penalty kill, killing off 8 of 9 power plays that South Carolina had, and then the way that Isaac Toyer played, I think, ends up being the difference in this one.
Yeah, it does. And how about that penalty kill, like you mentioned? Austin Finch, Scott Daniel, Emery Oliver, those 3 names. That's the fourth line for NC State. They're also on the penalty kill lines 1 and 2, and they did a phenomenal job tonight helping out Toyer. It was a lot, though. You get, no matter what, whenever you get on a penalty kill, the goalie's going to be tested. There's going to be shots on goal. The penalty kill could do everything it can, but that goalie will still feel pressure and still feel shots 99% of the time, and that's exactly what happened today. You know, it was a great job penalty kill, but 8 penalties, or excuse me, there was 9 total, 1 for 9 on the penalty kill, or excuse me, on the power play for South Carolina, 8 for 9 on the penalty kill. You'll ride home about it, but you won't ride home about that denominator. 9 penalties in a game. Got to get cleaned up for the Ice Pack.
Well, NC State does come away with a 4-3 victory. We talked a little bit about Isaac Toyer. He's going to join us here after the break.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy, up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
We've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad-spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
Welcome to Moe's! At Moe's, we've always been inviting, but we have a bigger story to tell. A place that welcomes you to be you. Fresh, high-quality ingredients. We got that. Go ahead, do your thing. Come on, let's get weird. We don't judge. Moe's wants you to come in with your crew and their appetites. Dine in, pick up, or order on the Mo Rewards app. Either way, don't just stroll in, roll all in to Moe's Southwest Grill.
From the top of DH Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, ice pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all ice pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
From the top of DH Hill Library,
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? It's Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Back here in Invisalign Arena, Nick Perazzi here with a brick wall named Isaac Toyer. What a phenomenal performance for you tonight. Scoreboard says 3 by you, but in reality, the game you played tonight was truly just an iconic game, one that will be remembered for a good bit of the season, if not the whole season. Kind of walk us through what was going through your mind, especially in those final seconds.
It's just fight, fight, fight. There's not much you can think about when you're in that situation. You just got to put your head down, work, and produce.
That second period, I said on the broadcast that I told you were as cool as a cucumber in the net. You said there was a lot of chaos in front. When you're thinking about that, is it also fight, 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 or are you also making sure no one else is coming in for a chance from the weak side?
On those, it's a little both. You know, I definitely fight and I'm working as hard as I can, but I'm just reading as best as I can. The more I can pick up before it happens, the better off I am.
Well, going into next week against Alabama, you guys had a pretty close win tonight. What are some things you think that the team as a whole can work on?
We got to stay out of the box. I mean, realistically, we can't be killing that many penalties, especially back to back to back. It's just not a sustainable way to win. That's something we just talked about in the room. But if there's one thing that we got to cut out, I'd say it's the penalties.
Yeah, and that's what me and Chris were saying. That's what Alex Rossetto was also saying during the second intermission break. So, like we said, discipline was a big factor in tonight's game. You can't lean on your goalie too much, but when it's you in that crease, you can lean on it a lot more than what you should. So, coming up next, Chris will interview head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack here on PackTV.
We talk
I appreciate
forever
it, man.
about the
Heck of a
future.
game tonight. We'll enjoy
Worry
it.
about it, or wish it closer. We try to glimpse the places we'll go, from ocean depths to the far side of the moon. At NC State University, the future is a thing you make, with bright ideas, new tools, and a wolf pack behind you. Tell us where you're headed. We'll help you get there. NC State. Think and do.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red and White Shop has everything the NC State fan needs. Sporting goods and memorabilia, your favorite NC State team apparel, tailgating essentials, Ice Pack gear. A proud sponsor of the NC State hockey team, a percentage of all Ice Pack sales go back to the team. Stop by today or visit us online. The Red and White Shop.
I'm with 2018 lacrosse national champion Christian Gaudy for the FDA's Don't Get Burned Sunscreen Challenge.
Bring it, Daryl.
She's tough, but I won't get burned today. I'm using a broad spectrum sunscreen.
The FDA recommends broad spectrum sunscreens with an SPF of 15 or higher with other sun protection measures to reduce the risk of sunburn and skin cancer.
You smoked me, Kristen.
That's because I use sunscreen, so I wouldn't get burned by you and the sun.
Broad spectrum sunscreen. It's a winning play every time.
From the top of D.H. Hill Library.
Don Diablo. Oh yeah, this is actually in my studio.
WKNC HD3 Raleigh.
Hey, what's up and what's going on, folks? This is Kid Kinetic, your boy up here at the top of the hour. And guess what I got? A treat that's too sweet to beat.
This is Wolf Bites Radio.
Oh, that's really sweet.
NC State.
Locally owned and operated by an NC State graduate, the Red and White Shop is your source for all things NC State. Just off campus in the Ridgewood Shopping Center at 3526 Wade Avenue, the Red...
Back with head coach Tim Healy of the NC State Ice Pack after a 4-3 win over the South Carolina Gamecocks. And Coach had a really strong second period. One of the things that we hit on, talking last night is discipline and making sure you stay out of the box. Had a little bit of trouble with that tonight, but your PK and your goaltender come up big for you.
First of all, the discipline. The discipline was an issue. It really gave South Carolina a chance to get back in that game after we, had stretched the lead out there. So we cannot win it's not a sustainable way to win games. Mm-hmm. That being said, you're right. The PK and the shot blocking, especially that 5-on-3. Again, the shot blocking, to see shot blocking like that in a regular season game in September really bodes well once you get to playoff time. It was just some incredible. There's so many guys that did it, but I really have to single out Emery Oliver and Thronson on their shot blocking tonight. And, of course, our goalie shot blocking. It was pretty good, too.
Yeah. Well, you look at the offensive side, you really felt like you guys took advantage of the opportunities you had. And, we talked about some of the freshmen and the guys that have come in this year. Daniel Prasma has been fantastic. He picks up a couple more tonight.
He does. He's one of those guys that every time they get the puck, you kind of start to come up a little bit. You're wondering what they're going to do. We're honoring the 2018-2019 team tonight. And he reminds me a lot of Riley Johnson, right? Like that, just electric, but yet, there's a lot of skill, but there's a lot of grit too, and a lot of emotion.
Well, you mentioned Riley Johnson. His brother Reese had a heck of a game as well, particularly that first period. 2 big takeaways that lead to those 2 goals. What can you say about the way he played? Another young guy contributing.
And I think last weekend was a big weekend for Reese that got himself going and continued today, especially the way that game started. That's why we have to stay out of the box. When we go to the box, we actually rob ourselves of our biggest strength, which is that all 4 lines can put the puck in the net. I mean, we see it. We start having a kill, play 4-on-4. It robs us of that ability. And it takes ice time away from a guy like Reese 5-on-5 that is just so good. But yeah, love where his game is at right now.
Well, one of the things that I've heard you mention this season, and a little bit of a cliche as well, is the good teams find a way to win even when they're not playing their best. You do that here tonight. How do you clean it up going into next weekend? Got a couple of games against Ryder and Alabama.
Well, I mean, first, talk about playing our best. Have to give credit to South Carolina, too, right? They could have kind of packed it up and gone home after they had that 5-on-3, and then we answered back with 2 quick goals to go into the third, up 4-1. So, they rallied. They played a disciplined third period. They only took 3 penalties on the day, so, credit to them. But, yeah, the third period at the end was just kind of finding a way through it, which they did. We've done that twice now with here in Virginia Tech. I'm kind of over that. Let's just play a good 60 minutes of hockey.
All right, well, as you look forward to this next week, we mentioned Ryder and Alabama. What are you looking at with those teams? What's the test there?
That's an interesting geography weekend, too, right? You go from Alabama all the way up to New Jersey. Actually, why we're mentioning Alabama, just one, I want to, hope everyone down in that part of the country in Florida coming through and in Western North Carolina is handling this well. And so first, obviously our thoughts are out with them. Switching gears, 2 very different opponents. One will, it's weird. One is a current league member and one will be a future league member. So it's first time we're playing Alabama. First time Riders come down here too. So for the fans, it's a chance to see 2 new teams in the building, and to be honest with you, I haven't watched a lot of tape on either one yet. We know Ryder a little bit from the past. They're pretty high-scoring offense. They play a good 60-minute game, but Alabama will have to look at some tape there.
All right, Coach. Well, good luck next weekend, and congratulations on the win here tonight.
Thanks. Go Pack.
That's head coach Tim Healy of the Ice Pack. That'll wrap things up for us here at Invisalign Arena. NC State comes out with a 4-3 win over South Carolina.